Okay, cut. Hello, thank you all. Okay. Hi, it's Jack. Sup, Jack? Hey, man, can you watch my account? You got it, bro. See ya. Click.
Have you ever picked up any men? Yes, and I took them back to my house for a good time.
I'm glad you asked. I'm actually looking for a dishwasher for my business. Go fuck yourself, sir. It's so goddamn mellow.
Mellow yellow. What was I thinking?
It's got a can of beer on the top of the trophy. And
It's American. It stands out.
It says beer on it. It says beer on the can of beer.
That was a really obscure selection.
That was awesome.
Of comments. I don't remember any of those.
That was very strange.
The only one I remember was the conversation about trying to find a dishwasher and being told "fuck off."
I feel like we should all be in robes right now having martinis. Like, welcome to the podcast.
That was turned into an RT animated adventure, if I recall correctly.
I believe it was.
It was.
Who submitted that intro?
That's a good question.
So Gus isn't here,
Oh, I
everyone.
lied. Ollie Yates, holla. Thank you very much for the intro. My bad, Ollie.
Are you saying holla to this person, or
Yes,
is your name Ollie Holla?
Holla. Ollie Holla Yates. Stand up, please.
Ollie Holla Yates. Thanks for sending in this week's intro to the podcast.
I don't feel as safe without Gus around.
Hello, my name is Bernie Burns. On my left, I have the
Jack
lovely
Patillo.
Jack Patillo,
I am Gavin.
Gavin, and joining us is
Lindsay.
we have a very, very special edition of the podcast today because Gus is not present.
Oh.
No.
Gus is in San Francisco, California.
Gus has missed, what, 2 podcasts, I think?
Oh, come on. He's missed
Total?
way more than that.
No way.
No, he's only... I
He's
know.
missed 5 podcasts.
I recorded one about a year ago.
There was one where it was Jeff, Joel, and me, and that was it as well.
Was that a good one?
Can we call it a
it was
podcast?
great. It was great.
So Gus is not here, so I thought that the theme of today's podcast could be talking about Gus behind his back. So if you have anything you want to say about Gus, this is the time to do it.
Gus is a lovely gentleman.
Oh, you think so?
He's 6 feet
Dude,
tall.
What a kind
honestly, I
gent.
spent a lot of time with Gus because we're doing a lot of RTX stuff together, and like I've got a newfound respect for Gus.
Why?
And maybe because I'm getting
You know,
older.
saying you have a newfound respect for someone is saying you now
never
have respect for
respected
them.
I used to hate them, but now they're okay.
To be honest, I have respect for anyone who can coordinate stuff.
Honestly, but
it's
like-
it's hard and
No,
stressful.
Yeah.
that's also one of the things. I think the older I've gotten, the more I hate things, and so I'm kind of getting Gus's perspective, and I'm like,
you
oh yeah,
hate everything.
No, I
you
just
look
hate you.
miserable today.
You
Like,
are
you
in a
so much.
foul fucking mood today,
Dude,
Jack.
Jack's
I'm
just
so
been
glad
sat
you're
here.
on the
Gavin is
podcast.
wearing sunglasses
No way.
indoors right now, and the lights are off. I want to hit you so bad.
Dude, I got this
Do
is
it.
my look. Howard Stern does it with sunglasses on. So
He's Howard Stern. He's the king of all media.
I actually saw.
You're Gavin, a douchebag, a slow mo douchebag.
saw-
You are not the king of any media.
Gavin, if we referred to you as Eurotrash, would that be more offensive to you because you're not from Europe? You don't consider yourself...
I can tell you something. No American has ever offended me. Say what you want. I don't care. I don't care.
Do you consider... I'm asking you a question, though. Do you consider yourself from Europe?
Yeah. Hence the fact that I'm from Europe.
Yeah, he is.
A lot of people in the UK, if you say they're from Europe, they get upset with you.
No, they don't.
Really?
They just refer to like mainland Europe as Europe because we're a different island, but it's on the continent of Europe. So yeah, we're
It's
European.
like Hawaii's part of America. It's still America.
Yeah, but you'd say
Hawaii. Yeah, I'm from Hawaii.
like people on Hawaii. Do they say I'm going to go over to the States, or don't they? What do they say?
Yeah, I guess.
They
I'm going to go
laugh.
to the mainland.
I'm
They
gonna go to the
laugh because a
motherland.
lot of Americans come to Hawaii and ask things like, "Do I need my passport?"
Yeah.
Like they don't know. When mainland Americans show up in Hawaii, it's a popular vacation spot. They ask a lot of really stupid questions like, "What language do you speak? Can I use the same money?
What sea level are we at?
Yeah.
I've heard that one before.
Kath-
What sea level?"
Kathleen was looking at a piece of a map yesterday, like it was from the 1600s or something, where California was drawn as a separate island.
What?
What was going on in the office yesterday while I was gone? That you guys were looking at maps.
She bought her
bought
treasure
eBay or
map?
something
She bought like
that.
it's like really old,
It's
and
pretty
it's
cool.
like California's like a sliver on the side of America that's not attached.
It's like a hand.
I guess they thought it
from
was not an
forever.
island. They thought it was not a part of the same piece of land.
Listen, you have a lot of respect for people who can coordinate things. I have a ton of respect for people who could make maps before we had satellites.
Yeah, like to scale. Like
Cartographers, you mean?
or just accurate borders and
yeah,
coastlines.
like, how do they do it? Did they just have to walk the edges
Yeah.
and then like measure it and then have a scale and then draw it? How do they
Not
do it?
even make maps to remember all that crap? Like, how did Sacagawea do that? Be like, oh yeah, this third tree, go ahead and take a left there, and then you're going to pass this stone, and you'll be there. Don't worry about it. Like,
Well, that's
what?
pretty much all they had to know.
I guess, yeah, like their surrounding area. But she went
Like,
forever.
I don't think Sacagawea had to remember which password she used for this social media account
Yeah.
when she signed
Wow.
up 4 years ago.
Let me ask you something. How do we know that the Earth looks that way?
How do we know that the Earth looks?
How do we
way?
know that the maps
Go
are
ahead.
correct? Like the Earth,
Go on.
Go on.
you see a globe.
I do.
Someone could have just come up with that.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your point?
You've never seen the Earth from space.
No,
Personally.
no-
Yeah, so you have
No.
no idea what the Earth looks like. It could all be a lie.
Well,
You
it's
would
like-
never know.
That's all of science. Like we can't prove gravity exists. Like
Well, you can.
because the scientists told us, but we drop it and it falls. So I'm like,
Yeah, but that's
that's
like
probably right.
it happens right in front of my eyes. I've just taken as it's given to me that the Earth looks that way. It could look completely different.
What would be the purpose of fooling everyone into thinking the
I don't know,
Earth
it'd just
really
be
isn't
quite
that way? It's the longest running joke of all time.
Have a laugh. I read somewhere that the Earth as a sphere is actually like if you were to take the Earth and shrink it down to the size of a
Cue ball.
Yeah, this is
cue ball.
interesting. Yeah,
it's like actually smoother than a cue ball.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
Which is wild to think. Like so, like the Marianas Trench is what 7 miles deep. And speaking of which, James
This is
Cameron,
very relevant conversation.
yeah, James Cameron was at the bottom of the Marianas Trench. He was the first
Where is that?
human to go down there. Right?
He went by himself, one dude.
wasn't he racing Richard Branson for something?
I think they're
Probably.
both doing it.
What?
They're building
Where is
an
that?
undersea base. The Marianas Trench is in
Undersea
the
base.
Pacific Ocean, right?
Oh, it's
Or
under the
Atlantic-
ocean?
The Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean.
It's underwater.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
the Marianas Trench is the deepest part of the Earth, and it's underwater. Yes. Yes, it is underwater.
Why is that funny?
Well, it's in
the
the
fact that we
ocean.
can-
It's underwater. Yes.
Oh, it's
No, it's in the dry ocean. It's
No, I thought you were talking about some like canyon or something that was really deep.
It's also called the ocean.
Well, technically, it is a canyon.
Yeah, I know. I was asking
Clearly
whether
you
it was. I know now. I was asking whether it was
Just
on land or
I'm
ocean.
going to go all the way through with this explanation, Gavin. Let's say there was a very deep trench on Earth. What would prevent, if it was in the middle of, say, Utah, what would prevent people from exploring that? Why would it take so long?
Because it's too deep.
And what would happen if you went too deep?
You would fall because it's dark. What?
Liquid
I don't know.
magma.
Clearly, that's it. You would,
Because it's dark.
It's dark.
see, and you wonder why I want to hit him
No,
so bad.
You know what I was
all the
thinking
time.
of? I was thinking about that scene in the Quantum of Solace where they just fall like
Quantum
down.
of
What's funny about that?
What? No, it's just funny to hear a British person say it. It's really,
How do you say it?
It's regal. I would say James Bond 007, The Quantum of Solace.
Have you seen all the Bond movies? Are they a big deal here? Because when a Bond movie comes out, it's like the biggest thing ever.
It's funny because you were just saying right before the podcast that you don't know how to spell license. And the way I always think
No,
of
I just-
spelling license is because of License to Kill.
Oh, okay.
That's the way I always think of it.
I just thought there were different ways of spelling it.
the old Bond movies. I feel like are still popular, but the newer ones, I feel like generally Americans are like, "What the fuck? Like this sucks so
The
bad."
first
Except
Daniel
Quantum
Craig
of
one.
Solace. Yeah,
Casino Royale
I wasn't a fan.
It was a great movie. It was good.
No, I think the one that threw us off, like we were all gung ho in America for James Bond movies until we got to Timothy Dalton, and I think that was the one that threw
Yeah.
us off.
Why?
And it recovered with Pierce Brosnan.
No, I think Timothy Dalton was the best James Bond.
Do you?
He did all of his own stunts. It was him, like he was doing it.
More than Sean
And-
Connery.
Come on, Sean Connery and
No
Roger
way.
Moore. They had all these like crappy one-liners. It was cheesy as hell. It was annoying.
Fucking
Sean
love
Connery.
Roger Moore. I'm like the only Roger Moore fan.
Like he would chuck someone into a bathtub and then throw a lamp and then walk away and go, "Shocking." You don't want that. That's not.
you
that's-
absolutely want that.
Absolutely, you want that.
Timothy Dalton was just like bash, 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 and then he'd like look really like worn out, and then walk out of the room. And that's like, yeah, that's real. That's like a secret agent. He'd be exactly like that.
He'd be out of shape.
Be
You know, there's
exactly
a
like
funny
that.
story about one of Timothy Dalton's movies. Cubby Broccoli, the producer guy, right? He walked onto the set. What?
Why do you say Cubby?
That's
I've
his
never heard
nickname.
that. Really?
Yeah.
It's Albert R. Broccoli, right?
I think they called him Cubby.
Cubby, really? That's interesting. I never heard
Anyway,
that before.
so he walks onto the set and he sees the stunt guy
You
hanging.
could be lying to me. This could be like the shape of
Yeah,
the
it, it could be. So he walks in, he walks onto the set and sees the stunt guy hanging off a chopper, like doing some scene.
Yeah.
And you can see Timothy Dalton just standing watching what's happening. And he walks up and like puts his hand on Timothy Dalton, turns the guy around. It's the stunt guy. And Timothy Dalton's actually hanging from the chopper.
Ah.
Apparently he went ballistic. Like he went crazy because of insurance and stuff. They actually had the real actor hanging off a chopper.
Well,
but
yeah.
that was kind of Timothy Dalton's thing. Like he wanted to do as much as possible. And I thought that was really cool. That's why I think it's the best James Bond.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it. If
Daniel
you were
Craig is good too.
50% of the way through an $80 million movie. How much do James Bond movies cost? About $80 million?
A lot.
Yeah.
I
I mean, they make enough to where they can be an $80 million, $100 million production.
Maybe now. I don't think the older ones were that expensive, though.
I mean,
No.
Doctor No costs
Of course
nothing.
not.
Yeah, but that was back in time when money was less. No.
I love all the intelligent comments today. When money was less.
I always find it interesting how much people made, decades ago. Like,
It's all relative.
Do you know how much John Cleese made for 40 Towers, the first season?
Maybe $5,000 an episode.
No, I don't know.
He made £7,000 for the season.
He made 7,000
Yeah.
pounds for the season.
It's
A
nothing.
lot of weight.
It's nothing, right?
It's about 14,000 US or
Yeah.
10 to 14, depending.
I think he said it was 7,000.
Pounds for the whole season, but doesn't he own the show though?
Yes.
I mean,
I don't
you can structure that anyway, but it is like with NFL stars, it's the same way. So you hear about what people made 10 years ago, and they're not going to go on and have a second career, you know.
Yeah.
And that money's got to last them. And you hear about rookies getting like, 50
Why won't
million.
they have a second career? You think once you become a footballer, you can't do anything else?
Well,
Typically
at a
not.
certain point,
I
your
mean,
body
Go and work in
can't.
a store.
Well,
You could go work in
Go
a
work
store,
in an
yeah.
office.
or you go work at a car lot. Most of them do. I mean, like
You
a
don't
lot
have to
of
retire at 30 and do nothing.
Listen,
sponsor commercials.
there's a running back who is the running back. He's a local legend in Austin. He ran for the Texas Longhorns and then ran for the Houston Oilers. His name's Earl Campbell. And that guy was like a bull when he was running. I mean, you could not stop him. Like they were guys hanging off of him. He was the guy who set all the records, you know, that lasted for like 20 years. He came to UT when I was at school. It was probably 15 years later, maybe 20 years later. He couldn't walk out on the field. They had to bring him out in a golf cart. And he was, at that point, at that age, he would have been 40, you know? He just been through, his body had been through so much. You know, he had to go out to the midfield in a golf cart and then get out and wave at everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But he does have a great, actually, second career. He sells these awesome sausages called Earl Campbell's Hot Links, and they are fucking great.
he also has a restaurant in the airport. It's pretty nice.
He does?
Yeah. It's right there on the terminal 14, 15 side.
But
I get breakfast there when I go to the airport.
this guy, Earl Campbell, superstar. I mean, he's going to get endorsements and everything for the rest of his
Yeah.
career. Not everyone in the NFL is like that, you know? And so a lot of them, it's I think that there's a weird set of rules for college athletes in America, and I think they should change a lot of that. Like, they can't get paid to play the sport, but I think what they should let people do is they should let the athletes go through 4 years of eligibility, play their sport, and then get their scholarship afterwards so that they can then go to school after their athletic career is done if they don't go on to professional sports, which I think, 2% of them do?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's very, very few people that move on.
I know they're trying to change that a little bit, UT, and trying to get athletes. I know they have an athletic program where basically you are an athlete as a student, but they're trying to encourage them to take more basic classes, like get rid of your government and your economics and whatnot to build, I guess, a better education. So they're trying to implement something like that. I feel you.
It sounds like they're making it harder on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
It sucks. Like, those people work out all the damn time.
I gotta
not
say,
stop.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love when I was going to UT. Anytime you get a class with like a football player or a basketball player in it, you knew that class was gonna be super easy.
Oh, yeah.
That was always the best. Like, I took
Sweet.
I took a class one semester where literally the entire starting lineup for the UT basketball team walked in and sat down. And it was like, oh yes. I think I saw them the first class and then test days, and that was it. And that was one of the easiest classes I took. It was great.
Well, listen, I mean, there's a lot of us, we go to college, there's a lot of, or excuse me, Gavin, university.
University.
And we
Why,
don't
why'd you
have-
say it like that, though?
What's that?
Well, you have the university. Like,
Yeah, we call it
it's
college.
the University of Austin at Texas, right?
University
Yeah,
of Texas
Texas
at
at
Austin.
Right.
Yeah.
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 University.
Yeah, it is called university.
So why do you call it college?
Because we don't have college the way you do. Like, how does your school system work? You go through grade school, and then you go to. Do you have high school?
You go to primary school and then secondary school, and then you can do sixth
What
form
grade is secondary school?
from 7 to 12.
12.
No,
I thought 10.
7 to 11.
And then 12 is college.
12 is sixth form. You do years 12 and 13.
When do you take your owls? That fifth year?
Shut up.
So yeah. So first you go to primary school.
Yeah.
And then you wear the sorting hat, or is it day one that you show up and you do this?
He's got to pick a wand first, guys. Don't pick the gun.
So you go to. I also like the fact you pause when you say this, like you're not sure yourself. So,
It's been a while since I was at school. I'm just trying to think.
How old are you? You're like, what, 22, 23, something like that?
24. Am I 24?
It's been
No.
Did you just forget how old you were?
Guys.
Jesus Christ.
can you really not remember the
how old
structure?
am
of
I?
school?
Can I please hit him? Just let me hit him one time.
How old
I
am I?
haven't been in school in 1,000 years. I can tell you the structure of my school
I
because
figured it
I
out.
learned it when I was 5 and it never changed.
Okay, Gavin now has his phone out to check
I'm
on the
23.
internet.
I actually.
He didn't check the day to see how old he was. God
I'm
damn.
23.
Oh, my Lord.
I've had coffee today, guys. I'm twitchy. I don't drink coffee very
No,
much.
you're stupid. That has nothing to do with coffee.
My hands are shaking.
Give Jack some coffee.
Easy.
Jack is such a foul mood. I love Jack in a
Jack
foul
is-
mood.
I'll be in a much better mood if I can hit Gavin.
Jack comes in
No.
every morning to the achievement office. He's like, I just want to hit you.
Gavin
violent.
has a
He's a
face
violent man.
that you
Why
just
are
wanna hit.
you so tired?
I don't know.
What happened?
The weight of the world is on my shoulders now
Is it
for some
stress?
reason.
Oh, are you stressed?
I don't know, maybe.
Boo-hoo.
Probably.
I play video games.
Do yoga.
I wish I played video games.
Not helping.
Man.
Why are you stressed? Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Do you have
Talk
personal
about your
calamities
feelings, Jack.
going on?
It's too much chaos in my life. That's the problem.
Well, with slumber
Too
party,
much
we'll talk about it.
chaos.
New
You'll be
draft
okay.
house opening up. I don't know what to do.
Nobody should be bitching about anything.
Man.
We're all fine.
No, like if you take a step back and look at it, it's like there's so many people have much bigger issues with their lives than I ever
Yeah, no
will.
shit.
So
Like Sacagawea.
yeah, exactly.
She's got to remember which tree.
She's got these two assholes telling her, make him show where to go. What the hell?
So I mentioned Howard Stern earlier. I saw him live.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
I went
how was
to
that?
I went to a recording of America's Got Talent in Austin,
Funny coincidence.
and I went with Jeff because Jeff's a big Stern fan, and it was really really cool to see Howard Stern in action, like seeing him with my own eyes.
You said he was kind of like the cock of the walk. Like he was sort of the guy in charge, right?
Yeah, I mean like Sharon Osbourne and some other dude,
Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
Howie Mandel. Who's that? Is he like a comedian?
He's a comedian.
Yeah. They were there, just sort of. They were kind of in awe of him. It
Yeah.
was interesting. Like he's just started doing the show this season, and he's like the main guy.
Do you know like how long they had been going by the point they were in Austin? Like how many different places they had been?
No, I'm not sure, but they've definitely been to at least 2 other places.
He is the host of America's Got Talent, right?
Yeah, he's the new
Yeah.
host. Who did he replace? The British dude,
He
right?
replaced Piers Morgan,
Yeah.
Yeah.
who's
He replaced Larry King.
Who now is like an interviewer on CNN, right?
Well, he replaced Larry King, so it's like Piers Morgan live.
Okay.
he thinks he's all that. I really don't like Piers
Not a
Morgan,
fan?
but he tweeted at me once, so I kind of like him for that.
Oh yeah, when
Yeah.
he tweeted.
I insulted him. I was like, "How can someone so famous constantly pimp their own stuff so often?" He's like, he replied something. I'll read it later. I don't know. Can't remember it.
You can't remember.
I can't remember what it was.
You read it in 5th grade.
Have you ever had like? I also had Ricky Gervais tweet me back as well. I rarely tweet.
You
to-
almost did, or you did?
I did.
Oh, yeah?
I rarely tweet to celebrities. I think it's pointless. But like I've attempted it a few times. I've had replies from Piers Morgan and Ricky Gervais.
Wow.
It's pretty awesome.
Really?
cool.
What did Ricky Gervais reply to you?
I'm a big fan of Ricky Gervais. I downloaded all his radio shows from before he was famous. There's like 91 hours worth of like really funny stuff between him and Steve Merchant and Carl Pilkington before the podcast and The Office and stuff. And I asked him if he ever listened to them because they were so funny. He's like, yeah. People send me links to them and I listen to them. It was cool though.
No, it is cool. It is cool. It's one of the.
Like I've interacted with like someone I really respect.
Nice.
Well, so thanks. That really means a lot. You know, when you see us every day in the
He
office.
has a newfound respect for you.
Yeah. But you've worked. When you say that you really respect people who can coordinate things,
Oh yeah, it's really difficult.
but you have worked on some really big sets. For
Yeah.
your slow motion photography.
I worked on Sherlock Holmes 2, the second
What?
movie.
What?
Yeah, he did
That was
all
a
the.
huge production.
Yeah, you did all the slow motion photography that was
Yeah.
in the forest chase scene.
It's
right?
weird because
I
I
had
was
no
second.
idea. That's awesome.
I was second unit, but
Mhm.
we had all the main unit actors. So I guess I mean I'm not really sure how all those units work.
Second unit is typically like no dialogue. Or
Yeah,
anything
it's usually
that.
like
Just action.
location stuff, isn't it? And
Yeah, like pickup shots.
but we did 2 main scenes on the movie. One was a slow motion scene in the woods where we had 2 high speed cameras on a track that could move the camera like 10 meters a second. So that the camera was just going like woo, down this track and everyone's like running through the woods. Stuff's exploding. It was really cool. And then we did all the like element stuff against green screen. And then we did the waterfall scene at the end where,
Oh,
Spoiler.
not to spoil it.
yeah, there's people in a waterfall.
Stop it.
There is a
Oh, come on.
waterfall.
There's
That
a
movie's been out a long
waterfall.
time.
So and then you work on productions like that, but then you turn around and work on live stream productions for the internet, which are just like pick up and just do what the hell ever, or even like this podcast where it's like just sit down and just
Yeah.
riff with.
Uh-huh.
I tried to have some organization yesterday that really paid off well for me.
What kind of organization?
Well, I sent out the thing like, here's Gus is not here, so I want to make sure
You
everything
you
goes
sent out
smooth.
the
Yeah.
email,
Oh, yeah.
and then I made fun of you for sending out the email.
And I was like, here's how we're gonna do this. Everyone will be ready to go at 10:30. And what happened is we got delayed because none of us knew how to use the goddamn computer.
Sorry.
How long did that take? Like an hour to set up?
Probably.
Yeah, and you always tell me what time we're doing the podcast. Like last week, you said like, podcast at 11. You ratty little schlem. What do you remember? What you called me this week?
Slim?
I don't. I called you a shmeemy little chin splint. What I call you?
Shoot me, little chin.
Shmimi.
I like it. I
Man,
like
speaking
it.
of spoilers, so the new Mad Men came out, and
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. I haven't watched a single episode of that show, and I've yet to really spoil that whole series for me. Like I know Christina Hendricks is in it, and I love her to death, and I know John Hammond's in it, and I want to watch his stuff. But I've heard the first season is kind of rough. Like the couple people I've talked to said the first season is a little bit difficult. But then,
Mad Men is a series that I enjoyed pretty much from day one.
really?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always liked Mad Men a lot.
I haven't seen a single episode, but I'm the same way. All my friends are like, "Oh, you have to watch Mad Men. It's crazy," but I've never had anything spoiled. All I know is it's in the '60s. There's drinking. Women don't have rights. That's it.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I don't know that you can spoil Mad Men.
Really?
It's not really like that. You know, it's not like there's not like major twists or anything like that. It's not like Breaking Bad, where if you learn certain things,
Dude,
you know?
they're filming the new season of Breaking Bad right now. Like the guy Aaron, not Ross. What's his,
Brockovich.
the guy who plays Jesse on the show? He tweeted that they were filming or they were going back to location, and someone interviewed Bryan Cranston, and he was shaving his hair the next day to get ready to play Walter White again. I was
Really?
Like, oh god, so excited for that show. This next season coming up is the final season, and it's just like I cannot wait for that to pick back up.
Really, it's the final season because the last season I saw, they wrapped up a lot of storylines. I don't think that's a
No, they actually weren't sure if they were coming back, so they intentionally set it up where if they needed to, they could have finished the series.
Yeah,
And but they did leave enough threads open that they were able to. There's plenty of stuff left in the show to have an amazing next season.
I mean, they can always introduce new stuff as well.
Yeah, there was actually a Reddit AMA the other day with Bob Odenkirk. And it was funny, like Bob Odenkirk was a famous comedian on Mr. Show with Bob and David, and he's been in a whole bunch of other stuff. He was on Arrested Development for a while, and like half the questions were about Breaking Bad.
Really?
Yeah, like everyone was asking about, like, now that you're doing Breaking Bad, like, do you get more serious roles? What's it like? How's it like working with Bryan Cranston? It's an Emmy-nominated series, and like just going on and on and on about it. So.
Well, that's pretty typical, right? I mean, people always want to hear. It's a good sign, I think, as an actor that people want to hear about your most recent work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You know,
At least they're not concerned
as
with your
opposed to
child
doing what
acting
you did,
career.
which is refer to him in the past tense.
What?
You said he was a famous actor.
Oh, he is a famous actor. Excuse me. Bob Odenkirk, if you're listening, I love your stuff. Dude, did you ever watch Mr. Show with Bob and David?
No, I have to admit I was never a very big fan of Mr. Show.
Oh, really?
But I never latched onto it, but I know a ton of people who really like it a lot.
That was like
I also have to admit, not an amazing over the top fan of Tenacious D, and they just recently
What?
came back too.
they have a new music video.
I like some of their stuff a lot, but I don't like all of their stuff.
Okay, are you a full Tenacious D fan? Have you heard everything before Pick of Destiny, or are you picking it up after the movie and all the stuff past it?
No. I like.
Do you like tribute?
What's
That
is it Fucker Gently? Is that,
Yeah.
Michael had never heard that song before, and I had Tenacious D on last night in my car, and that came on. He's like, and I was like, don't, hang on, no, it's just my song, and I like turned it off.
No, that's really funny. And then, God, that song they have the greatest tribute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tribute.
tribute, yeah.
It's the greatest song in the
This
world.
is
It's
not-
not the greatest song in the world.
Goodbye.
It's just a tribute.
Tribute to the song.
And the music video is so funny. Like
Yeah.
they're in a little.
It's all Led
music video
Zeppelin-y.
record-
Yeah, they're like in a mountain somewhere.
and Dave Grohl is the devil.
Yeah, Dave Grohl.
That's
Ben
and
Stiller's in that video.
I
Wow.
think that is tremendous. I think that's absolutely hilarious. But those two things, that's like the limit of my Tenacious D fandom. Like
Oh,
I didn't
man.
see the movie that they
No.
did. You know,
It was.
I gotta get-
It wasn't bad.
I saw
It
them.
was okay.
I saw them
Pretty
live actually.
yeah?
It was awesome. It
They-
was
they
just,
do,
it was
like-
just, it was
That
the
was
two of them
fantastic.
with just acoustic guitars.
Oh,
And
they
they
didn't
played
have,
for
like-
it was like an hour and a half of them playing. It was
They didn't have
awesome.
characters from the movie and
No,
stuff coming out.
it was at the Austin Music Hall. It was literally just the two of them on stage playing
That's cool.
acoustic guitar
that's so cool.
for like a good hour and a half. And then what's his name? The guy who wears Spider-Man suit. Shit, what's his name?
Tobey Maguire.
No. like if you're like the roadie. What's the roadie's name?
Oh, snap.
Not Stan. Fuck.
I know who you're talking
Anyway, they have a roadie who they kind of rip on every now and then, and he was there too.
Okay.
And he was dressed up as Spider-Man when
That's
he was
fantastic.
there. So I can't. I'll think of his name in a minute.
You know,
about.
rip on
Could
Yeah, they rip on their hardworking employees. That just seems wrong.
I'm going
I've,
to Bernie their discography, Bernie. You have to know more.
Don't
You
learn
have to know
anything
more.
from that, Bernie.
I've been watching a lot of American TV recently. I've lived with Jeff a few.
Lee was the guy's name.
Lee.
Lee.
That's right.
Lee.
Fucking Lee.
So I've been living with Jeff every time I come here.
Yeah.
Maybe like over the last 5 years, and he's never had cable. Except we just moved, and now he's got cable. American TV is
It's stupid.
ridiculous.
No, it's amazing.
Everything's over the
What's
top.
your favorite new show?
I've got. I can't stop watching
Real Housewives of
Storage
Jersey?
Wars.
Oh.
Storage Wars.
Yeah, Storage Wars
It's
is
based here in Austin,
fantastic.
isn't it?
There's the Texas one. Have you heard of Storage Wars, Bernie?
Yeah.
I think it's terrible. Like it's
But
awful
you
what they're
can't
doing.
stop watching it,
like,
can you?
They wait for someone's storage unit to expire if they don't pay the bill for 3 months, and they just rip it open.
Oh
And
no!
start
Don't
selling
get me wrong.
stuff.
The show is awesome, but like the people on the show are like, I mean, reality contestants or reality show people, like those are some of the worst people ever.
Yeah, but like,
Like, in
isn't it
general.
terrible what they're doing? Like, someone doesn't pay the bill for 3 months, and all their stuff gets sold.
That happened to Paris Hilton.
Pay your bill.
Paris Hilton, yeah.
I think it's awful.
Pay your bill, man.
Yeah.
No, I agree
Take care of
with
shit.
you.
Well, like, what if you
That's
What if you
losing
live
money
alone?
for the company.
You go into a coma and all your stuff's gone.
Well, fucking
Then you have bigger problems
let them
to
know
worry
that you're in a coma.
I don't know. If I woke up from a coma for like 4 months and all my stuff had been sold to some loud
Well, I'd hope your
arseholes, I'd
family
be
would
like-
tell people that you were in a coma and don't sell my son shit, please.
I guess so. I just think it's crap that they like rip it open, and you see you could be watching TV and you see all your stuff get rummaged through on TV,
That's
and people
that's
are like,
my storage unit.
terrible.
I'm just envisioning a feature here that Gavin would write and direct, where it's like 28 days later, where the guy wakes up from a coma. And like, oh, we have terrible news. Like, what happened? Is the world over? Taken over by zombies? No. We sold all the stuff that you didn't think was important enough to keep in your house.
No,
We sold your extra golf clubs.
my Hummel
I'm
dolls.
sorry.
You'll have to buy a new Christmas wreath. But congrats on coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, really, if someone takes something and puts it in a storage unit, they kind of don't want it around anyway.
Well,
Right?
Yeah, it's
what if
actually
you have
tough.
stuff that's valuable that you just don't have the room for?
You know what? This would be great. This would be a great
Sell it.
response to that. Is that if you don't want a bunch of stuff, you rent a storage unit for a month, and then you fill it to the brim with
I just let it get
crap.
repossessed.
And then some guy has to throw it all away.
Yeah.
Or
Why don't
auction
you just
off.
take it to the dump instead of driving it all to a storage unit?
That can be rather expensive. You might be surprised. And a lot of
More
these-
expensive than paying for a storage
A
unit
lot
and
of these
driving it
storage
there.
places will give you your first month for free. You fill it up with that stuff. And
You
then
have a good point.
I
That would
have
be the best
some,
episode of Storage Wars ever.
I have some stuff that's going to be valuable in a long time that I just have to hold on to, but I don't have the room for it.
Like
And-
what?
Have you heard of Damien Hirst?
No.
He's the artist who has the record for the most expensive art item. I think he made a skull out of platinum and then just put diamonds all over it just for the hell of it. He also put shark in formaldehyde and like had a shark. Have you not heard of Damien Hirst? Seriously?
No.
No.
Okay, he's a very
Sounds like a Bond villain.
he's like the richest artist or something.
Yeah, he is a
Anyway,
Bond
he
villain.
signed. I was
Tony
filming him
Stark
make
of art?
paintings with paint, and I got covered in paint, so he signed my overalls. And anything that's signed by Damien Hirst is worth, tons of money.
So why don't you sell it right now?
Because he's waiting for him to die.
I'm waiting for him to become dead.
Once
But
you-
what happens if he gets like in a
Terrible.
scandal? Like what happens if
What happens to get to a coma?
or he like runs a Ferrari into a school bus full of children, and then his reputation gets tarnished
Wait,
forever.
who would win that? The Ferrari or the school bus?
They're on the side of a cliff, and the bus falls off the cliff.
Oh, okay.
But what we were filming, he has
Kids are in the Ferrari? Wait a minute.
Who's driving? Rebecca Black?
Bruce Wayne's actually driving the Ferrari.
They go to the David Hurst Elementary School.
Damien.
Damien, where all the
David
school
Hurst.
buses are Ferraris.
But what we were filming was he had a circular canvas and he just spins it really fast and then just chucks paint on it. And it
that's
just spreads
great.
out. It looks cool.
I mean tie dye.
but they will sell for like tens of thousands.
They had toys like that for
And
kids.
and it's called a Spyro Gyro. That's what we call that in America.
Yeah,
In Europe,
Yeah,
they call it art.
I guess I thought he was more famous than he is. He's a big
Listen,
name.
we're just not cultured people. Let's be honest. I mean, you come with some built-in culture because you come from Europe.
Yeah,
Let's
No
give him a
offense.
lot of credit.
No, he does. When Gavin says something, I think with his accent, there is an implied authenticity to it.
That's
Yes.
true.
You know, an authority. that
My
comes
friends
with
and I
it.
believe this for years and years. If someone with an American accent says something that's a little snarky or rude, you're like, wow, she's a bitch. But say it with a British accent, she's sassy. I like her.
She's taking the piss.
Yeah, look at that.
Fucking hate that. All right, okay. Since we're speaking of cultured events, why don't I talk to you guys about RT Oz? So Katie,
RTOZ.
She even gave me a pronunciation here. So
Oh, is she?
Katie, very cute girl on her
Katie's
site.
awesome. We love Katie.
Cute lady, I should say, who runs our RT Oz. She runs Roo Teeth down in Australia, and I think she's in Sydney, right? Well, the last event we went to was in
Yeah, she's out in Sydney.
Melbourne. So they're doing RT Oz again this year. I got some information here. The main event is in Sydney. The ticket, which you purchase on the website, includes the entire night's worth of activities, which was jam-packed last year with different things happening all night. They did a badass event.
It was you and Joel were at that last year, right?
Yeah, Brandon, yeah. We went down for, we were doing promotion for DVDs in Australia, and they had the event at the same time as, I believe, Armageddon Con?
Okay.
Yeah, which is what we were down there to do. And they have one of those there's a new thing now where they have these badass bowling alleys.
Mhm.
They're like high class, almost like gold class bowling alleys. You ever been to one of these?
No.
They have in Seattle too, where it's just like you rent your own lane. Like essentially the highball here in Austin is like one.
Yeah, I guess.
But it's a funky version of it. But apparently what they're going to do this year, they're doing a Friday night event, which is a massive war of humans versus zombies Nerf battle. That sounds badass.
Ooh.
I think they're going to do it. For more information, you can go to the website, which we'll put in the link up. There's also a Facebook and an RT group, which we'll also put in the link dump. Last year they had 220 people. So if you're listening from Australia, they're selling tickets. You want to buy one before they sell out.
Do you know what the website is? You can say it.
I think it's RT Oz. No, it's Rooteeth, which is just basically Rooster Teeth without the stir.
So rooteeth.com,
Yeah.
ROOTEETH.com.
Rooteeth.
I love their logo.
Or is it .au?
It's a kangaroo boxing our teeth and knocking out our teeth. I love it. Yeah. Rooteeth.com, yes.
All right.
What are the other domains down there? .co.oz? Is
And
that-
.nz.
It might be .co.au for Australia.
Yeah, for AU? Oh, it makes sense. I don't think they formally embrace the Oz distinction down there. OZ. She even put here, she put birthday's OZ. So I don't sound like an idiot to the Australian listeners.
But she wrote Z.
I would kill to go
Yeah.
to Australia, man. I would love to go to Australia.
Have you never been?
I've never been to Australia. I've only been off this continent one time.
Where'd you go?
You went to
I
London,
went to,
right?
I went to Guildford.
You came to England and you didn't even see me, Jack.
Dude, I was there for 2 nights, I think.
We could have had 1
2 nights.
beer.
Yeah.
Still rude.
It's your country. You have the obligation to come and see him.
Yeah.
What do you do? Show up at your door? It's
Sure.
your country.
I was on a schedule. I wasn't on vacation. I was at work.
Yeah, sure.
So you could have come down to see me in Guildford. Where I was visiting Criterion.
If I wanted to go to Guildford, yeah.
This is the trip where he went all the way to England and ate at TGI Fridays.
Yeah, ate at TGI Fridays and we had Pizza Hut.
Nice.
No, it was cool. We found like this little pub the next day, like next to a castle, which is like, oh, there's just a castle that's 3,000 years old.
That is the
All
best
right.
thing about Europe. You could just go to a restaurant, look over, oh, castle.
Not 3,000.
Yeah,
It's pretty
it's
badass.
beautiful.
Hundreds of years old.
I do like the oldness of Europe.
You can't do that here
compared
in
to
America.
Nothing's very old.
You and I were in Amsterdam,
Yeah.
and we were standing on a bridge, and I read the plaque on the bridge, and I realized that the bridge we were standing on is older than our country. Well,
Yeah.
not older than the continent, but older than our discovery of the North American continent.
Yeah.
It was like a bridge from the 1300s.
And
We're
then we were
young.
in Belgium and we went in a castle that took like 800 years to build. And you think, wow, like you could be working on it and you could say, well, my great great grandfather was working on this. It's still not done. It's just, there's so many generations it took to make that place. Maybe it was 400 years.
It seems like the weirdest thing would be to be the person who's like you born and the church is being built, and you die and the church is a little bit further being built.
Yeah.
Yeah, still
knowing
being
you'll
built.
be designing it, knowing that you'll never see it.
Right. Ever.
Just gotta hope.
Or imagine just being the guy who put the last brick on.
I did it.
It took 800 years.
Then they cut off his head. But man, Belgium. We may have talked about this since you've
I
been
think
back.
we did. The really good smelling alleyway.
The
right?
little
Yeah, you talked
spot.
about this before.
God, I just want to go back to that one. It was like a 2x2 foot area where
This
you
is,
just
this,
stood
is,
in-
this is where Monty clenches his teeth. He's like, "Arr, I've heard this before.
Oh my god.
We shouldn't repeat
way.
ourselves.
How dare you repeat
Yeah,
stuff?"
we shouldn't repeat ourselves.
What's the name of our place in Amsterdam, Bernie?
Badestoof.
Cafe Baderstoof.
Cafe Badestoof.
If you're ever in Amsterdam, go to Cafe Baderstoof.
It is, in English, it is the bar of stuff.
That's awesome.
It's in the Stoof province, we learned, or it's a Stoof neighborhood.
Stuff name.
Badestoof. It's in the it's in the red light district. So
Yeah.
it's be careful, kids. if
We
you're
in
gonna
the
go
red
there.
light district.
Are you
Don't go
fami-
down there.
Are you
What?
have you ever been over to Amsterdam?
I've never been to Amsterdam, but I do know Ludacris, and that's what I was singing.
Yeah.
Ess.
And he talks
That
about the
is-
red light district.
Yes,
one
you
of the songs.
yes, I know you're surprised.
Yeah,
She's cultured. She's,
yeah,
that's American culture.
yeah.
Ludicrous.
Talking about other places where you can get marijuana
I've been to
and
Europe.
prostitutes. Those are what Americans take with them.
Ludicrous was in that Max Payne movie. Did you ever see that?
Max
No.
Payne. Oh, no.
But
No,
you
the
never
one with
played Max Payne?
No, I played Max Payne. It's the one with Mark Wahlberg, right?
Yeah, that movie was terrible. It
He was
had
also-
nothing to do with the
He was
game.
also in Fast and the Furious 2.
And
this
5.
is the main thing I don't like about when actors do stuff based on a book or on a game. Mark Wahlberg was like, I don't play the game. I don't care. Just did the movie. It's nothing like the movie. The game, I mean.
Well, that was
The
like
I can't recall a movie based on a video game that is like the game in any way.
Laura Croft Tomb Raider.
yeah, Tomb Raider would be the closest, I would say.
Did you think it was like it a lot?
I mean,
think
she was
people-
exploring tombs and wearing various outfits.
She
and
looked
costumes.
exactly like
I'm
her.
sure the people who played the original Tomb Raider would say the storyline was nothing to do with it. I mean, Prince of Persia had a prince who could jump on stuff.
And it was
but-
he had the time sword or whatever,
The
the time dagger.
yeah.
I'm excited about Max Payne 3 coming out.
Yeah.
Is that this year?
That is this year.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
excited
sure
about
someone
that.
with a cursory level of knowledge about Max Payne, if they did a slow motion scene, would say, "Oh yeah, that's just like Max Payne the game."
They did one slow motion scene in the movie.
Because that was the big thing in
Yeah,
Max Payne
it was bullet time.
Well, you say
bullet
like
time.
like Doom. I mean, Doom had the whole first person stuff in
Yeah.
the movie.
Exactly. But it's like, what was the storyline of Doom? I mean, it was just
They opened a gateway to hell.
on Mars.
Yes. No, that's what it is. They're colonizing Mars, and they end up opening a portal to hell.
What I'm saying
That's
is that
where hell
the
is?
game itself, Doom, doesn't really have a very rich storyline, so
No,
they had
no.
to make a movie out of something, right?
But I mean, that was part of the original story.
I want them to make
Like-
a Legend of Zelda movie, but like someone impressive, like Peter Jackson's got to direct it. It has to be super epic. It would be fantastic if we
be
could
kinda
divide
cool.
that up. Yeah. Or even like a television series. That'd be fantastic. Each temple would be one season.
Well, I could see like a Grand Theft Auto movie, but the thing is, like, those games are so well done. Like, I can't imagine a movie being much better.
There was a movie called Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, it had Ronnie Howard in it.
So you're saying that no movie has ever been like the game it's based on?
Let's just name one that is. Like,
yeah,
it
it was
feels
a good
like
point.
it.
So
Like Super Mario Brothers.
They have yet to
that's
make.
why I'm so worried.
That was a
about
great
Halo
movie.
being made. Like if they made
John
Halo
Leguizamo was
instead.
fantastic.
I feel like they have yet to make a very cinematic game into an actual cinema experience. Like, I don't consider the Prince of Persia or Tomb Raider games to be that overly cinematic. Like,
Yeah.
when I think of cinematic game, I think of Mass Effect.
They made a Pokemon movie.
I think of.
Stop it.
They
You
made
think, I think
3.
Pokemon did start as a game or start as a cartoon?
There is
Started
a
as a game.
game.
It was a game.
And it became
That's
cartoon.
why, like, if you play Pokemon Red or Blue, the drawings of the Pokemon look different. to
That's
the
not like a live
games.
action movie though. It's still animated
Yeah,
to the series.
Yeah.
If they made a live action Pokemon, sign me up. I'm auditioning for that.
There was a
shit.
trailer for a live action Pokemon, like
What would you
like a
wanna play in
fan made
that?
one.
I would like to play Mew, the cat Pokemon.
The cat Pokemon? I know jack shit about that.
Yeah,
Did it-
I know
I have
very
no
little
idea who
about
I'd play. I
Pokemon.
just want to be in it.
How many Pokemons are there now? Like, as far as how many actual titles
There's
are there?
all of them.
Originally, there was 150.
No. I'm
151,
talking
including
like
Mewtwo.
games, like carts. Like
Oh,
how
I
many?
have no idea.
Like red, gold.
Carrie and all of them
black.
upstairs would know. After the like red, blue, and yellow, I stopped. I had yellow.
Those are the first three.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Man.
So Doom had Carl Urban in it, right?
Carl Urban and The Rock.
Oh, Carl Urban.
That guy's awesome.
he is.
He.
McCoy.
I worked on a
Bones.
Carl Urban movie. It's the last thing I did before I left.
Really? Do you have anything signed by him that you're hoping he'll die for?
No.
Okay.
But the movie was
He'll
was
die for
called Dredd.
Oh shit! You worked on Dredd?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the remake of Judge Dredd.
Yeah, he was Judge Dredd.
Yeah. Apparently, he never takes his helmet off in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Unless you shot something that he has his helmet off, then we might spoil everything.
The
for
thing
everybody.
is, I often turn up on set not having a clue what I'm doing. So I kind of have to ask around.
why does that
and
not
figure
shock me?
out- Well, I don't
You
know. I
show
just
up
never
not
get
knowing
told.
what you're
Like,
doing.
So I turn up on set. I'm like, so I've got to figure out what this is. It looks like a movie. And then
There are
and
cameras
then-
pointing at people.
And then the dude like walks by, all like in his gear, and I'm like, that's the guy from Star Trek. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
This girl in this movie, in the female lead, it looks like in Dread,
Yeah.
has the most British name ever. Her
What is
name
it?
What
is
is it?
Olivia Thirlby.
Yes.
But she's not British. She's born and raised in New York, it says in her bio.
We shot it in an abandoned shopping center in London. It was
That's cool.
dingy.
Cool.
It was something to do with drugs, but yeah.
And Lena Headey.
Edie,
Who's that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
Dredd's based on a comic book, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
But it is weird. Like I've turned up on set sometimes where, like, I figure out what I'm doing as I'm there. I've done one job where after I finished and left, I still have no idea what it was.
Oh, yeah?
I flew to Latvia to film a little nozzle, like in a black piece of cardboard, spraying some liquid, and everyone was Latvian. I didn't really get any explanation of what I was doing. Shot it, went home. I don't know. What was it?
You have no idea where that is
Yeah,
now?
that's
Or where that
it.
footage is?
I have no idea.
So you just hand off the footage to an editor or something like that. And you're
Yeah,
like, here you
I
go.
don't do any post production.
I would be obsessed with trying to figure out what that was.
Yeah.
If I'd shot it. Like,
Hmm.
you could have been like part of some cult thing to bring about the Antichrist or something. You know? You
Thanks
have no
for
idea
tuning
what
in.
was different colored liquids or just one color liquid?
It's just like a spray. It was like a jet of white spray.
So you shot it against like a green screen or
It
something?
was just
or-
black against black. Like,
That's it.
I flew all the way to Latvia to do that.
Took cash and then you went home and that's it. That's really weird. All right. Well, speaking of Mass Effect,
That's another thing that hasn't been spoiled for me yet. Somehow I have yet to have the ending of that game spoiled for
I
me.
don't really know.
Well, I know everyone's gonna write my comments.
I
but,
don't really know that it can be spoiled for you. Like,
like
it's
Mad
not
Men.
like a one-liner. Like, oh shit, you're spoiled. I mean, you have to like explain something for 2 or 3 minutes to.
All I know is
Spoil it?
a shit ton of people are unhappy about the ending, and a bunch of people don't care about the ending. Like a bunch of people are like,
There's
oh,
like
wasn't that?"
petitions going on. And
Yeah.
everything, right? I don't
And we're
play
gonna-
Mass Effect.
I have now finished Mass Effect
Okay.
3,
That's
and
okay.
I'll
What do
be
you think?
very careful not to spoil anything here. I'll be
I
very
appreciate
careful not to
that.
spoil anything.
You?
But it's just, I guess people who have played the game for a while wanted a better ending. It's essentially all I can think. They wanted something better than what was there.
I mean, I could see that. I mean, like, I played Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations, and the way they wrapped the Ezio storyline, I mean, that was 3 full games. And the way they wrapped up his story was awesome. Like, it was, like, the most, like, rewarding ending I could imagine.
It was a
Like,
pretty sweet cutscene.
yeah, I mean, it was like
haven't done it yet.
Awesome.
I never played the first game, but even they kind of wrapped up the Altair storyline too, which they kind of touch on a little bit in Revelation. And even that, like the way they link everything together, was just like that's fucking brilliant. It was some of the best writing I've seen in a game.
It was
ever.
really nice how they interlace Ezio and
Altair.
Altair's story. Yeah, especially with the ending. Oh, I want to talk about it now.
I know. So.
I'm really glad that you guys are huge fans of that franchise and you can talk about it because, once again, I know nothing about it. I can't even tell you what game goes in what order.
No, see, I'm like that with Mass Effect. Like I have literally played 30 minutes of Mass Effect 1, and that's it.
Yeah, I know zero except that Shepard's a dude on it, and apparently
No,
he's
Shepard's a
spoiler.
chick.
Oh well, both are good. Anything.
So
I
you
guess,
just missed
either
Assassin's
way.
Creed completely.
Pretty much.
Ah, it's fun.
No, listen, I think I have 1,000 points in the first Assassin's Creed, and after that, I'm off the radar. Like I collected all the flags and killed all the Templar.
I think I was there when you collected the last flag or killed the last Templar or something.
So annoyed. I don't have 1,000 points in that game. There's achievements you can miss. I'm not playing that whole game again. You have to talk to the woman at every available
Yes.
opportunity. Missed it.
Yep.
Oh, and also, I killed 49 out of 50 Templars. Where's the last one?
I don't know. You
I
tell
have
me.
no idea. I'm so annoyed.
Ask Michael. He thousand it. We did it together.
When you're in a game and you're playing,
Yeah.
and you see a collectible, and they're pretty
I
clear,
avoid it.
Right.
I don't
You
want to pick
learn
one
to
up by
avoid
accident
them.
because
Yeah.
then you're searching for one you may have already got. It's a nightmare.
Right.
You should be able to disable them. Like GTA, I want to turn off all the pigeons and then turn them on when I want to collect them.
Or it should be like Saints Row, where after a certain point they appear. You can buy it in game where they appear
Right.
on your map.
Yeah.
Revelations did that, where like there were 100 hidden items.
The
and
data
after
fragments?
after
Yeah.
you collect 50, the others show up on your map.
Yeah, that's good.
So
Okay, that's cool.
yeah.
Okay, so then you're rewarded for there's one. Let me grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so I
That's
mean,
actually a much more elegant
yeah,
solution.
and you could easily stumble across half of them on the map. Just seeing them around. Even if you throw in. Well, also they have like this eagle vision mode where you can kind of like see extra stuff. If you see one in that mode, it marks it on your map too.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
Eagle vision.
It's like it's a way to like identify like enemies and stuff like that. And, like, hiding places.
I would play the trilogy though. The Assassin's Creed 2 and the next two games. Play those.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Don't worry about the first one.
Assassin's Creed 2 is
goes-
3 games.
It goes Assassin's
Yes.
Creed
Yes.
1, Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Assassin's Creed Revelations.
And now they're
But
making
2,
3.
Brotherhood, and Revelations are a trilogy.
You are so much reminding me why for Red versus Blue we went back to numbering the seasons as opposed to naming the seasons. In fact, now on our box
Yeah, the
covers,
fact-
we just put season 7, season 8.
The fact that they called Assassin's Creed 2 makes me think, were they planning a trilogy?
I don't know.
Or were they
What
going
do
to...
you mean?
Well, I know.
Why would you call a trilogy 2 and then...
No, it makes sense because these storylines like Revelations and Brotherhood follow Ezio still, and they just completed a storyline. So now we're moving on to a totally new character in the third one. So I think it makes sense that way.
Who did I play in the first one? Did I play Ezio?
I played
No,
Altair.
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 You always play
Right.
Desmond, who has ancestors.
Yeah,
Right.
Technically, you're Desmond, who is then going into
You go
the
into a
body.
machine
Then
and
you Inception
The Animus.
Here's what I play. I remember Assassin's Creed 2 I played it, Jack, just because you talk about it so fondly. Seriously, because I had good memories of Assassin's Creed, but you were like, "You've got to play it."
It's amazing.
I was in Italy during the Renaissance, I want to say,
Yes.
and I got in some kind of mob brawl fight with a
Yes.
bunch of people, and I was like, "All right, I'm turning this off."
That's like literally the beginning of the game. That's
It
like
was.
That's like
You can't
Yeah.
do that with games these days.
I know.
Every game starts terribly. What game is like, this is brilliant instantly?
Mass Effect 2.
Batman.
Dead Space 2. Jack, I have put off playing Dead Space 2 because Jack has said such amazing things about the opening to Dead Space 2. And Mass Effect 2 had an amazing opening.
That was the first time I played Mass Effect. You drop straight in it, everything's good. I didn't like it.
Wait, so
like
have you
it?
played Dead Space 2 now?
I have not.
You have not. Okay.
But I
like
hear the
being dropped
tutorial
in.
levels
The,
ridiculously
the
awesome.
first stage of Dead Space 2 is fucking incredible. I mean, like it has a different feel. It has a different overall tone. Dead Space 2 does from Dead Space 1, but Dead Space 2, the intro is fantastic.
I thought the beginning of Halo 3 was good. Where you like walking through the jungle and finding the brutes and all that.
That's pretty good. Halo's solid.
The beginning of Skyrim's kind of that way too. I mean, you're like about to be executed, but then this dragon comes out of nowhere, and you're
it's
like, "Oh
too-
fuck!
that
I gotta
kind
fight
of-
him."
what? Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wait, there's
kind of
dragons in Skyrim?
That
Dang
kind of
it.
thing is too overwhelming for me. Like, it's just too much at once.
Man, I watched Moneyball again because I was on vacation. I decided to like play it in the background while I was ironing. I have to iron in a hotel. I hate that.
What do you iron?
What do you mean, what do I iron? I iron clothes after I pull them out of a suitcase.
Pants,
Shirts?
Just hang them up.
underwear.
Yeah, I know, Gavin.
You don't have to.
I can't go to a business meeting looking like I just crawled out of a suitcase myself. Moneyball is a great movie, and
It is.
it begs extra watching. There is a scene in Moneyball where the writers are just like, "Fuck it, we're going to leave the audience behind. We don't care." It's when they're trading for Rincon, and it is, and you just have to watch. I'll show you the scene again. You have to watch it like 3 times to even understand. They even like write in. I guess they're named after actual people that were in baseball at the time. There's 2 guys named Steve that they're calling on the phone, and they're trying to get which one straight, who they're calling. And it's insane, and they don't care if you can keep up or not. They just blaze right through it.
That whole scene is just Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill in an office with a phone.
Talking about numbers and talking about players and organizations. Yeah,
So awesome.
yeah.
I want to talk about a very cool video that Achievement Hunter just made. I don't know if you've seen it, Bernie. It's called Mario with a 0.
Can I put you on pause for just 1 second so we can finish really quickly the wrap up on this Mass Effect discussion?
Yeah.
because I know it's a hot button issue. Gus
Oh,
and
yeah.
Gus and I might do a separate podcast where we just like a spoiler podcast
Okay.
where we talk about our opinions of the end. We might actually might be a good idea to loop in Eddie too. He was now a writer on Red vs. Blue, and he had opinions of it. But in a nutshell, no spoilers. Gus and I think everyone's insane.
I think it's a good ending.
The Mass Effect ending is completely and totally fine. There's one argument about related, and this is not a spoiler, related to some choices and whether the choices are clear or not. I get that. That's a mechanics thing. Whatever. As far as narratively, the ending for Mass Effect is perfectly fine. And people who are complaining about it, I don't get it. Even all the stuff I complained about last week about Mass Effect 2 that could be spoilers, all that stuff is cleared up. All that stuff makes total sense now. And the way they explained everything, I think it's great. I could not be happier with the ending. Of Mass
Let me
Effect.
also say something now that I'm thinking about, like, we're going back in time and talking about stuff we were just talking about before. You were talking about Assassin's Creed 2, and you were thinking it's a trilogy or whatever. Like, it's funny they named it 2. I just read yesterday that Assassin's Creed 3 has been in development for 2.5 years already, which would have put it, like, they started production on it almost immediately after 2 came out.
Yeah,
Right.
I heard that
So-
they picked it up
Yeah.
second to stop.
So they've had more
Nuts.
development time on this one since the very first game. Like, this is the most development
But even
time
that's
they've had.
awesome. Like, how much dedication was that? Oh, so
I'm,
cool.
I'm super jazzed about it.
I'm actually excited about that American Revolution one.
Yeah, that's a war we've never really seen in a video game, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. There's a History Channel Civil War game. I don't think it's the American Revolution one.
That's a game, or that's a war we've never seen a game for.
You know what would be a good thing they should explore, and I don't know if they have in the Assassin's Creed universe yet, is pirates. Somebody put on Reddit the other day that
That'd be cool.
they would love to see Rockstar do for a pirate game what they did for Western game with Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
That would be pretty
That would be pretty
cool.
sweet. Well, in Assassin's Creed 2, at one point there's a map and there's kind of like different locations marked on the map, and it's like where assassins were. And there's a lot of hints and stuff like Japan's in there, and I want to say the Caribbean's in there. So
Oh,
it's
yeah, I
like,
remember
Yeah,
that.
a
You
bunch
could
of
send your
different-
guys to, like...
well, not that. This
Oh.
is sort of like
Okay.
not an Easter egg, but it's pretty cool. So but that map, like, it was a map of the world before people knew what the world looked like. So it's kind of one of those weird things.
Not that we know now.
And then, like
Let's be clear.
California was an island. It was really strange. But yeah, people looked at that and were trying to figure out what the other Assassin's Creed titles could be based on that map, because they had the Assassin logo scattered throughout. So they were saying like feudal Japan and like pirates, like you said. That could
Japan would be awesome too.
Like,
if you had samurai up in there,
Yeah, that'd be pretty
awesome.
sweet.
It's crazy. I mean, Assassin's Creed is it just came out and it was a franchise.
Yeah,
As soon as it came out.
yeah.
I know, I loved it. Man, there was nothing more rewarding than sneaking up on a Templar and doing the
It's everything that you want to do in real life, but you can't because of physical limitations and morality.
like eagle fishing.
Yes, Caw-caw! I wish.
Climbing buildings, jumping on top of guys, stabbing them in the throat, running away, jumping on a horse, and
And
Escape.
hey, let's not forget collecting flags.
collecting flags.
I know, I just am Jones to collect flags.
And Kristen Bell's in it too, so that doesn't hurt.
Whoa, Kristen Bell's in it?
Yeah, she's the woman.
She's the
She's the woman who robbed me of my achievement.
Because you didn't talk to her enough.
What?
Yeah.
That's your problem. You're not talking to the girls enough.
I didn't even recognize her voice.
So I
I'm
heard
upset.
Kristen Bell with the whole sloth video where she goes
God,
crazy.
I love that.
The
So
sloth.
adorable.
Yeah, well, it's adorable on the surface, but then you got to realize that somebody's life is like living with a person who cries at the drop of a
Dak
hat.
Shepard is like, oh god.
It's like, oh, you filled my car with gas. She's so happy. But somebody told me that we were got on the topic of sloths this weekend when I was in Los Angeles, and somebody told me that a big problem for sloths, it's a big mortality issue for them, is that they'll be in a tree and they're so slow and lazy that when they go to move, that they're holding on to a branch with one hand, they let go with their other hand, and they move so slowly, they think their own arm is a branch, and they grab onto it, and then they let go with that hand, and then they fall to their death. And it's a common way that sloths die.
That can't be true. How are they still around? Surely evolution would have sorted them out. natural selection.
I don't know if it's true or not. The person who said it didn't sound all that knowledgeable, but it's still pretty goddamn funny.
It's like the belief that lemmings just reduce their population by throwing themselves off tall cliffs.
Wasn't it supposed to be like a Disney nature show made them do that
Yeah.
for the shot? Yeah, they like forced them to jump off.
It was a Disney that made that urban legend. There was something called like Wild Wild Kingdom or something.
Was
Yeah.
it animated?
And they
No.
they featured lemmings and they ran the lemmings off a cliff.
Why would they do that?
For the shot.
Establish this. Yeah.
God.
Here, I'll look it up. You tell us about your Let's Play with Mario.
Yeah. Have you heard of this, Bernie?
No, but I read your description of it on the site.
It's 4-player co-op Super Mario Bros. Side scroller, like the really old one. Except
Super Mario
everyone.
Bros.
What?
Gross. Hey, at least
Go-
he's saying
go on.
Mario, not Mario. All right, I'll take
Super
that.
Mario Brothers. Everyone has a portal gun, so at any one time you can have 8 portals on this 2D map, on the 2D level, and it's absolutely insane. Like as soon as the shell starts moving, it goes in, one comes flying out the other, straight down another one. Everyone's like, Jesus Christ! It was ridiculous. It's like a 20-minute video. It's just chaos the whole time.
Do you have everyone have a orange and blue portal gun, or does everybody have
You
their
can
own?
set the
Different
color
colors.
of your portals, your
Okay.
first and second portals, but it's just
So your portal only goes to your portal.
yes.
Okay.
So it's just like the actual portal game co-op.
My
but-
favorite part's when Big Bertha hits you and you were like, "Oh no, goldfish!" like as you died.
Yeah, it was just crazy.
And that's on achievementhunter.com right now?
Yeah.
It is.
Watching Gavin play this, I realize how terrible he is at video games.
Well, this sounds horrible.
No, there were points where it's just like, oh, he's just going to jump into a hole.
Well, the whole point is you're playing the actual game, so at no point do you need to use Portal.
There's parts where you're portaling yourself for a good like 2 minutes. Like, damn it, I'm stuck.
But all the physics are good. Like you can do that thing where you just keep falling through your 2 portals and then shoot one somewhere else, and you just go whoop, just come flying out at that speed.
I love the
So
Let's
fun.
Play stuff. I love it. I mean, it's just like they end up being the longest videos too, and I think who's going to watch these?
People watch them.
Like
People
what was
like
the
them.
one? I played with Jeff. I played Utopia.
Yeah,
for 45
but it was
minutes.
interesting. I watched that whole thing.
It's really just like sitting around enjoying about how shitty the games are, or how bad we are at the games.
That Skyrim unicorn video, whoa, hit the microphone thing. Sorry. That Skyrim unicorn video is really popular too, that you guys did, you and Michael. Was it Jeff who did the other one?
It was Jeff and I did.
Jeff and
the
you,
one
yeah.
in Red Dead Redemption. We made
Tomahawk.
unicorns.
I was so disappointed in the one for Skyrim that you guys didn't put a rainbow in there. I mean, that was my favorite part of the Red Dead Redemption one.
I manually made that rainbow. Like that was the crappiest thing
I
ever.
laughed so hard. I laughed so hard when I saw that rainbow, dude. So I got an idea for Let's Play, something I've been meaning to do anyway. Why don't we go back and play Red Dead multiplayer? Because there's a lot of achievements I need to get in Red Dead multiplayer.
Sure,
I've never played the multiplayer.
I always have an ulterior motive for my Let's Plays.
dude. I would love to play some Assassin's Creed multiplayer.
We're still trying to get multiplayer achievements,
Oh,
so yeah.
The Assassin's Creed multiplayer is very fun.
It's fucking awesome. Like it's a multiplayer. It's a different kind of multiplayer, but once you understand it, once you get used to it and kind of get better at it, it's some of my favorite multiplayer I've ever played.
I
on
got
the
pretty.
360.
Have you played it, buddy?
No, Assassin's Creed,
Yeah.
but I think I watched Jack play
So
it.
the way it works is you have to assassinate someone, and someone has to assassinate you. Pretty much.
Yeah,
all
you have
the
a
time.
target, but you're also targeted.
Now, I played this with some friends, and I've gotten to the point now where I can tell who's a real player and who's an NPC just by the way they move. Like, I'll be walking into a crowd, I see like 7 of the Doctor characters, and one of them will just be like moving a bit differently. I'm like, he's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. And then all of a sudden, like, I'll start backing away, and he'll like veer towards me. I'm like, he's gonna kill me, and I'll just run, and he'll start chasing me. But it's like really tense. Like you're constantly on the lookout for like someone in the crowd could be set to kill you, and like the more quietly they kill you, the more points they get.
Yeah.
So if they actually start a chase and just run at you, they get like 100 points. But if they just like work their way into the crowd and then just go poison or something like that, you get like ton of points.
You get
It's
more
really-
you get more perks based on how well you do. Like
It's
as
a
you
lot of
level up
fun,
your
but
character.
you get paranoid as hell, especially
fuck
when
yeah.
you're approaching your target and you think someone's after you. It's like crap. You have to kill your target before you get killed.
Now, we were talking a lot about Assassin's Creed today, but I gotta say this. There's no better testament to how fun a game is than to watch people in this office who play games all day. When they get a break, they'll stop and play a game. And Jack
And that'll be like the hobby.
Jack will stop and play Assassin's Creed. Like, it's always on your desk, and he will load up Assassin's Creed after he's worked on editing videos about video games all day.
Right now, it's Assassin's Creed and Trials HD are the 2 games I kind of pick up. And then when at home, I play Star Wars. But Star Wars is a little bit different just because I don't feel like I have to be capturing at all times.
And for me, it's Left 4 Dead and Halo. You know, I mean, those are the things I load up.
You still play Halo?
Yeah, and I tell you what, Mass Effect 3 multiplayer could be that for me now too, because it's just like can play for a
You
10,
shit
15
on
minute
Mass Effect 3 multiplayer during that live stream we
I
did.
didn't. I just said I hadn't played it, and I got so much.
You said
grief
it
about
doesn't
that.
make sense in that world or something along those lines.
All I said was I haven't played Mass Effect multiplayer, and I don't know that I will because I don't think of Mass Effect as a multiplayer game. That's all I said. That's all I said. And I caught so much grief. And now that I played Mass Effect multiplayer, now it makes sense to me. It totally makes sense. Because it's not Versus. Versus would be, I just imagine playing Versus multiplayer and just being in a slam or like in a pull and be drifting in space for 15 seconds for every match. And then being griefed constantly because,
Like whenever in the campaign you can do stuff that the NPCs can't do, it would never work in multiplayer. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine playing Max Payne against someone else who can also slow down time and shoot you? Wouldn't work.
Yeah, but it's cool. The horde mode that they have, we talked about it a little bit last week, where you have objectives during horde mode. Awesome.
That's cool.
Have you played it yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, it's really cool. So like you'll be playing it on a different level instead of just here's another wave of enemies, kill them. It's go to get these checkpoints and disable these terminals while you're fighting off the enemies. So there's different things to do at different points.
Cool.
So you're not just like bigger wave, more intense wave, kill them and get to the next one. It doesn't work that way. And then there's a set number of waves, and then you have to get an extraction. At least all the versions that I've played so far.
Cool.
It also helps a lot for getting your achievements in using different biotic powers or different tech powers. And also there's an achievement in Mass Effect 3 to get 5,000 kills. I finished the campaign. I think I'm at 1,200.
Oh,
Yeah, so you can rack up a whole hell of a lot more by playing multiplayer.
that's cool.
I'm not going to, although I have to go back and if I'm going to get all the achievements, play Mass Effect again and play it on Insanity, which I'm not looking forward to.
Can you not play on Insanity on your first run?
Or
Or do you have to unlock it? I can't
Specifically,
remember.
I haven't had a lot of time to play games lately, so if I get a mode like that, I will play on normal just because I want to experience the story. And I knew the Mass Effect 3 ending was going to get spoiled for me. So I played on normal, and I blazed through that in about a week. I think it was like 35 hours, and I did it in a week. Yeah.
I've put on easy to get certain achievements, and I'll go back to difficult if I need to make it harder in order to achieve something. But why make
Shame
it harder?
on you.
Why make it harder? Why? This is America, Bernie. This is the land of making it
It's
easy.
America, let's not work hard.
No.
I don't like it when difficulty doesn't affect achievements. It cheapens all the achievements.
Yeah, I get that.
Like on
Halo's
Skyrim,
smart about that. They make you do everything
Yeah.
normal or heroic.
on Skyrim, you actually start on the hardest difficulty.
Do you?
There's like 4 or 5 difficulty levels, and you start on the top. And you can lower it, and then it
Which
just
is what
cheapens
I
them.
did immediately.
Can I tell you what I hate?
Yeah.
Since we're on the topic of stuff in games that we like and don't like.
Yeah.
I hate when there's a level of difficulty in a game that you have to unlock
Yeah.
by playing an easier level.
Yeah, that's just that they want you to play more than once.
Yeah, well, that's what I don't like. Especially if they make it. Or what's even worse, they actually have eliminated this in most games. But some of the early games and achievements, it was you got an achievement and it was lower points for beating the game on easy, then mid level for beating on normal, and then higher points for beating on hard and insanity. But it didn't cascade.
Yeah, it didn't
Exactly.
stack.
Hitman Blood Money was like that. There were 4 difficulties. You had to play every difficulty the whole game. You had to play the whole game 4 times.
There's no way- you did it though.
I play on the hardest difficulty, and when the lower 3 didn't unlock, I was just like, well, I had to get 1,000 points. Had to do it.
I don't think I ever got too much into the Hitman franchise because I always felt like Hitman, I could do things the exact same way twice and get different results.
Yeah.
Like because it's a stealth game.
But don't you like that?
No, it felt kind of random. So
Oh.
it's like I'm sneaking up on a dude and I got out my little what do they call that garrote or whatever.
Yeah.
The fiber wire thing.
The fiber
piano
wire. And I'm going to choke the guy, and it's like I get within 2 feet of him, and he sees me. It's like, well, I know on this level when I tried to run through a minute ago, I did this exact same thing, and he didn't see me.
I like random stuff in games.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that you can know exactly where everyone's going to be, based on timing and stuff. I like that it's random.
That's what I did like about Hitman was the fact that like you could learn the schedule for people. That I did like, but it meant the individual encounters felt a little too random.
Oh, okay. Well, sometimes in Hitman, you would have objectives that would, like, there's one level in the first Hitman where you have to rob a safe. There's 3 safes, and the thing could be in any of 3. Mm-hmm. And you just get a different experience based on complete randomization.
Do the assassination mini games in Saints Row remind you of Hitman
No.
at all? They do. For
Well, you
some
just-
reason, they do.
You just drive up and shoot someone, though.
Pretty much.
Or you have to lure them out, I guess.
Yeah, you like do these things to like lure them out. God, one of the levels I played in Hitman was so complex. You could drop a chandelier on somebody.
Yeah, they got kind of...
I remember the one in the theater where
That's it.
Yeah, is it? Well, there's a bunch that you could either like replace the fake knife for the play with a real knife, or you.
Oh,
could
no, it
just,
was a gun. It was like a prop gun.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay,
and you can
yeah.
have him shoot him.
yeah,
And the
so
guy
have, like,
actually dies.
The other actor actually just kills him.
Yeah, that
And
was a kind of a change from the original, because the original you just went in and killed people in the quietest way possible. In the 4th one, Blood Money, you could make every kill look like an accident, pretty much. And you got bonus points if like someone happened to fall into a trash compactor or something like that.
That's kinda cool.
I remember one that was like you could poison donuts and leave them outside of a
Yeah.
police van,
Cool.
and then open them like, oh,
Give it to
donuts,
the-
and then they
yeah.
die.
You give it to a surveillance team.
Awesome.
You think the cops would fall for that?
Yeah.
Just left donuts like sitting outside their deal.
Perpetuate that stereotype. Keep it going.
The name of the movie that Disney filmed was White Wilderness, and this is from Snopes.com. During the filming of the 1958 Disney nature documentary White Wilderness, the film crew induced lemmings into jumping off a cliff and into the sea in order to document their supposedly suicidal behavior. This is true.
So
Murders!
we're doing a nature program where they lied about nature.
Yes, lemming suicide is fiction.
Why
It
would
is-
they do that?
Well, because they thought it was real, and they were just trying to demonstrate it to people.
Right.
So they induced it to just to
It's
show.
like what you said, Gavin. The world's not round, and lemmings don't kill themselves.
That's like doing a documentary on polar bears and having a polar bear fight an elephant. It's
Be awesome.
That
complete
happens.
lie.
Polar bear fight an elephant. Well, people thought that polar bears and elephants fought, and they thought, well, we want to take the time to like follow a polar bear around until it runs into an elephant. We'll just put them together.
That was like season 4 of Lost.
What I'm saying is, obviously, they did fake it, but this was maybe an established fact at the time that this was the thing where lemmings were thought to run off hills for population control or run off cliffs, and so the Disney crew just set it up so they would do that. I don't know if they invented the actual theory.
Weird.
We should have more
Nature
students like
documentaries
that.
are notoriously difficult to film, as wild animals are not terribly cooperative. Many nature shows and films of this era, including Disney's True Life Adventures movies and TV's Wild Kingdom, staged events to capture exciting footage for their audiences. The sight of a few lemmings mistaking a lake or ocean for a stream and drowning after swimming out too far, or being pushed over a cliff during the frenzied rush of migration, has become the basis of a widespread belief that lemmings commit suicide en masse when their numbers grow too large. So they were just trying to show something, not necessarily suicidal behavior,
Right.
from the big herd rushing, but that's what they started an urban legend by showing this.
and a whole video game series.
Do you think Lemmings, the video game series, is based on lemmings? Like,
Yeah.
but I mean, they're not mice; they're little elves.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a theoretical thing.
Yeah, but
Did
I
you
mean,
ever play Lemmings?
Yeah, I played the crap out of it.
that was one of the few games I got to play at school because like you could like it was like learning strategy and stuff like that. Like
You played at school?
that and Oregon Trail.
Oh, Oregon Trail was the
Yeah, they're
best.
both pretty morbid games.
But
You've
have to
died of
sacrifice-
dysentery.
You have to sacrifice like the blockers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sad.
Blow them up and everything.
Yeah.
Like those, yeah, they'll be the dude. You pin a couple in, and then let one, have one build up your ants and stuff, and then blow up the one who's blocking.
I was a sicko. I just put one blocker at the front, wait for them all to bump into and put the back one. They'd just be all trapped, blow them all up.
The worst thing about the dysentery thing is that it sounds like, oh, it's historically accurate, it's a medical thing, somebody died of
yes.
dysentery. Until the kid
Dysentery.
asked, what is dysentery?
You're like,
It's fatal diarrhea.
Yeah, like, you crap yourself to death, right?
Jesus.
That's horrific, man. That's terrible.
Then they have other ones that are weaker. It's like Jonah fell off the back of the wagon and broke his ankle. You're like, damn it, Jonah! Like, get back on there. We gotta go. I never rested for my family. I don't know if you guys would push onward until everyone died.
I was the one. I would always like everyone to play as the banker because you get more money at the start, and I always play as the farmer, which is like the most difficult one, and try to survive.
But
'cause-
yeah, you can make your own food.
What are you talking about?
But if you make it to the very end, then you would actually get like a lot of bonus points.
You might have not ever played this game. It's called Oregon Trail.
Yeah, I've never played that.
It's a big touchstone for gamers in America because we all played it during school. It was you would follow a family that was moving from like Pennsylvania to Oregon, and you had to go through the unexplored West or Midwest, and it was just awful. You were in,
Facing
like, a
trials
wagon
and
train.
tribulations on the way. Like dysentery.
And you start off with 5 people in your family, and then typically you had 2 by the time you got to
What, so they died?
Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they died.
Yeah.
Wow.
Your family can die, get sick.
Starved to death.
I'd always kill like 500 pounds worth of buffalo and they're like, you can only take back 200. And I was like, what the hell? Why? Like, why can't I make multiple trips? I need to feed my family.
Like, fuck it, let's leave it here. They'll make more buffaloes. You're gonna learn the folly of the American explorer.
Tatanka.
Let me see here. I'll read the description of Oregon Trail to you. Oh wait, this is the actual Oregon Trail. Yeah, it's Missouri to Oregon City. That's what it was, not Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
So, and it was just it was kind of like an educational game that they would let us play in school, but everyone just really liked the game a lot. You got to shoot buffalo and bears and
Oh, yeah.
rabbits
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Did you have an equivalent of that in the UK?
I don't think so. Maybe. Not in my
The
school.
English channel, the game.
I went to a very small school.
Did you have a computer course, a computer education course?
Yeah.
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 What did you
keyboarding
cover in that?
class?
Like, what was a computer project you would do in the UK?
We would do like Microsoft Access and Excel and stuff.
You do database.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, they're doing smart stuff. For us, they're like, oh, play this game.
Number munchers.
Here you go.
Let's put Gavin on Microsoft Access right now
Oh, God.
and have him tell us what to do. That would be a fun video.
Yeah.
There was a guy recently who just posted he went back and took the SAT as a 35-year-old, and apparently it's pretty funny. Did you see it?
Yeah, I read that.
How'd he do?
He beat his old score. He beat his score from when he was like 17 or 18 by like 35 points.
Did he really?
Awesome.
Did he study for it?
I don't think so. I think he went in cold.
I think I would do fine in everything but mathematics.
I think I would do.
I hate math.
I'd probably do better. I imagine. I don't know, but
It also helps when you don't give a shit.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm just
Absolutely.
taking it for the hell of it.
Well, you did that Microsoft certificate. What was that thing that you did? You did it to see how much it would take you to pass, and you passed.
Yeah, it was a Microsoft certified developer. I forget the actual name. There was an initial. It was big in the .com era, and you just paid $100 to take the course or to take the test,
And that's just for like
certification
a CV.
yeah. And then I would I went in to take the test just to see what I would have to study, and I passed the test. Just like going in blind. Like I think you needed a 700 on the test to pass, and I got a 700.
Like right
I
on
walked
the
in, I
line.
was like,
I hate that. I know so many people who don't study for stuff, and I studied for hours and hours in school, and they'd go in and get 100, and I'd get like a C. I'm like, dang it! Ugh, smart people. Sucks. Like my friend's father just felt like taking the bar exam and passed, didn't study at all.
Wow.
Like, what the hell?
You can't put that on your CV, by the way.
It's an
Microsoft certified. You should put Microsoft certified in brackets. Barely.
no,
can't really
no,
do
it all counts, man.
Kind
Mostly
of.
Yeah, it was
There's like an asterisk next to it.
Yeah.
C bottom.
an MCSE.
MCS.
It was part of that program.
Huh.
So
Cool.
yeah, it was awesome. Totally awesome. So Jack, I went to Los Angeles this weekend, and
Yes.
I saw you there for the first part of the weekend.
Yes.
And you, when you were flown out there by Rooster Teeth, you stayed at the W. I know.
Yeah, we stayed at the W.
The
Very
dub.
nice
I didn't
hotel.
book that, but it was pretty nice, man. So the W, it's one of these quote unquote green hotels, which is just bullshit. Which means that the lights are dim and there's no fucking water.
And they also make you feel bad for washing a towel.
Yeah. It's like, oh, like save the environment. Anyway, so like the shower at this hotel, it's really nice, like this marble shower, very fancy. Like they have like fancy soaps and shampoos and everything.
Yeah, marble's great for the environment. Mining marble.
But like the shower head is one of those that's like 6 inches wide with like all the little like nozzles on it and everything.
It's a
Like,
rain shower.
yeah, it's like one of those fancy ones, and so it's like, oh, that's gonna be great. And then you turn on the water, and like the water just like dribbles off of it.
Yeah.
I hate
It's
low
just, like,
pressure showers. No
yeah,
way.
and I'm like, I'm a bigger dude, so like trying to like take a shower in this thing. I spent more time trying to like clean myself off with this freaking terrible shower head than I would if it was just normal pressure. And then I went and complained to the front desk. Right, I was like, yeah, the water pressure in my room's pretty lame. And she was like, oh yeah, we're a green hotel. And I was like, oh,
So what makes
so that's your excuse.
So they just won't pump the water fast.
Yeah.
That saves the environment. doesn't
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's
No,
less
because
water
all the
going
guests
through.
can't shower, so they turn green. And they have wavy lines coming off of them.
I want a
That's what
shower
that
to
means.
almost knock me down. I want
Yeah.
power in my water.
You guys know like this. So we recently bought a new house, and we're renovating this house, and we're all done now. We're moving into it.
Have you moved in yet?
We're boxes packing to move in.
Nice.
Yeah, 'cause we
Congratulations.
sold the old house. So the
Oh,
big
man.
problem was that we had to stay in the old house until we sold it because there's all this stupid advice like a house shows better with furniture in it. I don't believe that at all. Because other people's furniture is fucking lame. Anytime you go to somebody else's house, it's like, this is all shitty.
Yeah,
Well, it's like the whole point. You're supposed to upgrade your furniture, though. Like, make it look nice, but keep it furnished. Like, this could be what your house looks like if you buy it.
Right. Like, this is the room where a couch goes. I mean, essentially,
Yeah.
people have that lack of vision. They can't walk in and figure out what they would do with empty rooms. Anyway, so we finally sold the old house and moved in a new one. But, so part of the renovation that we did is we renovated some of the bathroom. I guess you would call it the bath. What do you call it? The toilet?
Toilet.
What do you
The
call,
loo.
what do you
The
call,
loo.
what do you
The
call the
loo.
area where you have the shower, though? Where you actually take a bath? So the toilet?
A shower? What? What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying, what do you call that room? It's
Bathroom.
all the toilet.
A bathroom has a bath in it.
Uh-huh. And toilet just has a toilet.
If there's just a toilet, just call it a toilet.
Okay.
Why would you call a room without a bathroom the bathroom? I mean, a room without a
It's
bath.
just our name for things. I don't
Yeah?
know.
Nice.
Kitchen doesn't have a kitchen. So the bathroom that
WC.
that we had before the water closet, the bathroom that existed before we renovated, it had 2 shower heads, and they said, well, we'll keep the 2 nozzles or whatever. And I said, how about this? How about if you take both those water feeds and combine them into one massive shower head?
nice.
Just like a fire hose.
Yes.
And the plumber was like, fuck I can do that. Like we're even like messing with it because I'm the same way as you. It's like if we've ever looked at a house or if I looked at a new apartment, word of advice to you out there: test the water pressure first because water pressure is one of those things you can never fix.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it, and you want excellent water pressure.
How is there nothing you can ever do about it?
What do you
Just
do about
buy a
water
pump.
pressure?
It's run by the water
Buy
company.
a bigger pump.
Buy a bigger pump. How do you think water pressure works?
I imagine in a power shower, there's a pump that's sucking in water and spraying it out fast. Is that not how it works? I assume the water just doesn't come down the pipe out onto your head at full speed.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
How?
Mach
Exactly
5.
right. It's from
Because they put
water
NOS in the
pressure.
pipes, and then when it passes the NOS, it works.
What? So you're having a shower and
They
you
have jump pads in there.
Go on.
No, the water pressure comes from the pipes. There's no power. There's no device in your house that creates water pressure.
Yes, there is. It's
No.
called a power shower.
I've never heard of a power shower. What
Well-
are you talking
Well, I
about?
don't know. If you have a shower without a pump, it just goes. Sorry.
It's just
for
like,
the- sorry for
it just
people
like
listening.
shits on you? Is that what happens?
So let me get this straight. Do you have like a switch in your house to turn on the shower?
Yeah,
You do.
yeah.
You really in the UK you have this.
In the house I live in the UK, there's a switch in the airing cupboard. You just flick it on. It's the power shower. It starts the pump,
We
and
don't
then when you
have
turn on the
one.
water, it goes and goes.
I want one of these.
Well, this
Sounds
is a
awesome.
thing. It's not like it's a thing.
Do you have you experienced any of these in America? Like where is in your
Yeah.
current house? Where is the switch to turn on the shower?
I have no idea. The water comes out fine. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna,
see.
I mean, is that just coming down the pipe?
We don't have
Yeah.
power showers. I mean, I'm sure it's a device you can add to a house.
I've never
and
heard of this in my life. I
I'm
don't
going
know
to
what you're
get one
talking
of
about.
these things. And
Well,
I'm
yeah,
gonna-
that's what you do if you got crappy water pressure.
Awesome.
it totally makes sense to me that you could do this. I mean,
Oh, it's like I
shower.
just blew your mind just now.
Yes.
Gavin, you blew my mind.
This
It
is
might
when-
be something that's not allowed by code here in America either. Because water pressure is a big deal. You can't use too much water.
Why?
Like
Do you have
Droughts.
limiting?
we regulate the amount of gallons per flush. You can actually read it when you go to use a toilet in America, like a urinal. It'll tell you on top how many gallons of water it uses per flush.
Why?
It's because they don't want to
See,
use
that's
a lot.
the kind of thing. I mean,
What?
there's so much. There's so many rules for everything.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is,
Like,
this is an environmental conservation thing. I mean, it's a law so that people don't have like
But the thing
40
is,
gallons
it's
per
more,
flush.
It's more expensive to print that on all the bloody toilets
No,
than it is to.
no, it's not.
It's really
Dumbass.
not.
I'm with Gavin. Let's go back to medieval times and we'll
Just
just duke
flush.
it out with each other.
Flush until the poo is gone.
Well, people get upset about the low flow toilets or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
They don't like
Yeah.
them. So there was a black market for selling old houses toilets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they were not.
You know, if you have bad water pressure in your toilets, you can buy a power poo.
If you're fucking lying about this power shower thing, I'm gonna get pissed at you. Power shower. You have a switch in your house in a closet, and you turn it on to have a more powerful shower.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thing ever.
That's awesome.
Otherwise,
It's like the turbo button on the old computers.
otherwise it just comes out like a tap.
I just went through renovating a house, and I don't want to know about this. Image for power shower.
I
Is
know
this
we
what it
just
looks
fixed
like?
this up, but
I don't know what the physical thing looks like. It's you still just have a shower. It's just
There's a bikini there too.
oh sure, yeah, I guess that's one.
She showers in her
Inappropriate.
bikini. I know,
That's
sorry.
like
I'm
that's
just
one that's
kidding.
right next to the actual shower though. I think you can get them built in.
I meant the shower. That's inappropriate.
I love showers, man.
Showers are nice.
Showers are great.
When was the last time you took a bath?
Every damn day of my life. I love
Oh,
baths.
really?
Yeah, I'm all about them.
Gross.
I refuse to take a bath in a place where the shower is the bath.
Okay.
I don't want to lie down where people have been standing.
A power shower is a device that is designed to increase the amount of pressure used to propel water through the shower head, with the result being a more powerful spray of water. A power shower functions with the aid of a pump that is able to concentrate the flow of the water through the shower head, creating the same sensation I experience when more water pressure is actually present.
I like the idea of you picking a place to live based on the pressure of the shower.
It is. It's
This is
important.
terrible. We're not living here.
It's
the end of the world.
It is.
There
We're not
is
living
nothing
there.
we could do to improve the
Dude,
water
there's
pressure.
nothing worse than like taking a shower with like a crappy shower.
Have
And
a
like
bath,
think about
though.
living that. Like going to hotels and stuff. Like if you experience it like that, it's like, oh, that sucks. But at least you're going somewhere. Like you're going home and you know your shower at home's okay.
It's
at least
like
I know
temporary
mine.
sadness.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this sucks.
I want a full like wet room with a hole.
Totally.
Yeah, an aquarium.
I want a toilet where I can sit down and turn on the shower.
I think Bernie is currently buying a power shower.
I
right
am. I'm going to buy one of
Wait,
these.
they kind of have those. Have you heard of Toto toilets? They're
No.
like in Japan, but like they like wash you. They spray your butt or like whatever you.
A bidet.
Oh, yeah, like it comes out of the toilet.
But and it's like the seats warmed and crap like that, and it like massages
seen-
you and stuff. It's
It'll-
weird.
It has a little air on your bum too.
Have you
after.
seen,
Yeah.
Have you seen An Idiot Abroad TV show
Yes.
Yes.
where Carl Pilkington travels the world?
Yes.
He said the Great Wall wasn't great. It was just pretty okay.
Yeah.
Pretty
He's like the Great Wall of China goes on for hundreds of miles, but so does the M6, which is a motorway. It's like a big deal. But there's a moment where he's like looking at the toilet trying to figure it out in Japan, and the thing just goes like boop, sprays him. He's like, "Jeez, it's a really funny show. You should watch it."
This is definitely a UK thing. So in the UK, they have electric showers.
That sounds dangerous.
It does.
No, it's a thing.
It's a
Like,
thing.
why haven't you thought of them?
It also heats the water.
Yeah.
So do you not have water heaters in
you
the
do.
UK?
No, I guess it's like a second level of heat.
Why haven't we thought of them? Because apparently you guys did first and you won't share.
Well, they have inline water heaters.
Do you have
They
hot
call
water?
tankless water heaters.
Gotcha.
So do you have here where
What?
you have a hot water tank?
Yes.
And it heats up.
Yes.
And once you've used all the hot water, your shower becomes cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So it makes sense to heat the water from the pump, right?
No, it totally does. That's what
Yeah.
tankless water heaters are. We have those.
Right.
We have those. And those are usually considered to be energy efficient devices because they only heat the water on demand.
Yeah, it's not constantly keeping a vat of boiling water in the
Exactly right.
loft.
In your loft. That was the thing we went through in with the plumber. We were saying, can we run the pipes up so that we're using gravity then to create more water pressure?
Smart.
Thinking,
Smart
right?
thinking.
Sure.
And he said, nah, we'll just put the two pipes into one. and blast
You know, one of
it
the best things about owning a house is having an attic. I love having an attic.
A garage is good to have too.
Yeah.
How you say, is that how you say it?
It's a garage.
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 A garage.
I'd rather have a basement than an attic.
Yeah.
Personally.
We're not getting that in the South.
Have you been to that place in Austin, the Indian place called Garage Mahal?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's an awesome name.
Good food. Speaking of food, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do we need?
Third base, maybe?
I'll go to third base.
What's
sure.
third base?
Third
Sports bar?
Sports
Oh,
bar.
yeah.
What's your time, Lindsay, on the
What's,
podcast?
we have 1 hour and 18 minutes.
We got
on
like
the
10
clock.
minutes.
Yeah, we're
We've
doing
got
it.
10 minutes to rinse right now.
Where are we going to eat?
10
Third base?
We do that. We do green mesquite. We have
Yeah,
to-
that's
Green mesquite
barbecue.
is
Do you
good.
still eat Mama Foods every day?
I know. I
got
got
off
on
it.
foods.
I don't want to go there again.
I don't blame you. You guys did go to bacon the other day, though, right?
Oh, that was really good.
I didn't.
okay.
Eric
So you're
Tails
the
with
first
his
person who
bacon.
said it's really good.
It was
because-
great. I had what's called the best BLT, which is apparently the best BLT in the world, and it was very good.
Yeah.
I love BLTs. Toasted.
I don't like bacon on stuff. Like on a
Okay.
burger? No.
Why?
I don't know. The mix, I don't like it. I like bacon alone. I'll eat alone, yeah.
Hop Dottie has really good bacon.
I want bacon ice
Like
cream
on their burgers.
Did they have bacon ice cream at Bacon?
I don't know. Probably.
You didn't ask for it?
No.
They have,
It's
they
bacon!
have chocolate bacon at Frank, the
What?
hot dog place.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Was it chocolate covered bacon?
Chocolate covered bacon and it's salted.
Delicious.
How much was your license plate?
It's $75 a year.
So you pay $75 a year to have a
A
customized.
vanity
Do you
plate,
have one,
yes.
buddy?
No, what's your vanity plate?
Yeah, I didn't know you
Oh,
had
wait.
one.
You haven't seen it?
I guess I do. Yeah, it's one of those things you should get rid of it because after I see it once, I don't even notice it. I think you should base all your decision on what
It's
my
also-
experience.
So
was.
someone else, we have a new car in the parking lot that has a vanity plate. We have like someone's driving a Mustang out there. I don't know who the hell works here anymore.
Yeah, I saw that Mustang yesterday. I was like, "Ooh, that's a nice car. That
My,
thing's sweet. The black one?
The
Sleek.
guy I work with in the UK, the guy that owns the cameras, his name is John Hadfield, right? And he wanted to personalize his two cars with personalized number plates. He wanted, because his name's John Hadfield, he wanted J1 had and then J2 had. And when he applied for J1 had, they thought he was doing a joke.
You're doing jihad.
Jihad.
Oh, that's funny.
I
I
can't
didn't
believe
think about
he didn't write it down, didn't see it.
J.
He just was like, oh god.
So they didn't give it to him
Oh hell no! You can't worry. You can't drive around with Jihad on your
Man.
on your license plate.
license plate.
Oh, hey, they opened up a new draft house. So the Slaughter Lane Draft House is open now.
We should go there and
Yeah.
see.
And they're
21 Jump
opening up
Street.
another
Yes.
draft house in North Austin, too.
Let's do that. They open another one where?
They open North Austin by like Lakeline Mall.
I'm not going there.
Let's localize this podcast.
Let me put this in perspective. I just spent a weekend in Los Angeles. I went to go meet friends for dinner. It was a 50-minute car ride to go meet them for dinner. 50 minutes there,
Just traffic.
50 minutes back.
It's also, Los Angeles is fucking huge.
It's fucking huge.
Is it?
If you go from like south of downtown to like North Hollywood, you're looking at like an hour and a half drive.
Really?
Yeah, well, don't live there.
Yeah, so it was crazy.
But that's all Los Angeles. I mean, the city is just enormous.
And in Austin, I was thinking about that. In Austin, it's like it takes me 15 minutes tops to get to the airport now. Tops from here, if that.
It is pretty sweet to be
But I mean,
close to
we're
everything.
in like the southernmost point of Austin, basically. And I've got like my sister and brother-in-law. They live up in Round Rock, which is like the northernmost point of Round Rock, or of Austin, and that takes me about 45 minutes to get from my house to their house.
What is the biggest city in America?
New York City.
Might be Dallas, Fort Worth if you combine them. You talking about in terms of acreage, like in size, size on the map?
Size?
Yeah.
If we can believe the map and what they tell us,
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah,
If science is accurate.
If DFW counts as one city, like a metroplex, yeah, that would be it. But
DFW.
Also, man, Los
You-
Angeles is one big pavement smush.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Do you like
San
it there?
Diego and LA are going to connect pretty soon. And
Do you
it'll
like
be
LA?
like, what's it, Demolition Man?
Yeah.
yeah. Do I like what?
LA.
I do.
Do you?
It has grown on me. I do. I like it.
I've always liked Los Angeles.
I've heard it's nice.
It's a cool city. I mean, the weather was insane when we were out there. It was really, really
It
nice.
Fucking rain. I rode up to PCH, which is this. Literally, it's a highway that runs up the beach.
It's the Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah, so it's like you're on. Like if you look at the map, if you can believe the map, there's the water, and then
Come
there's
on.
the line, which is the freeway. So it's like there's freeway, sand, water. So you're just like driving along the ocean the entire time. It's beautiful. It rained the whole fucking time I drove up there. this weekend.
Oh,
And it was a great weekend in Austin.
Yeah,
but
it was.
It was a
Sweet
great
one.
weekend otherwise, but that was fun. We went up to Neptune's Net, which is like this place where people on motorcycles go to eat seafood. And it's up towards Malibu. You
Yeah.
can look it up on Google Maps.
You know, I'm proud of us this week. We didn't talk about any sort of death or brutal accident, right?
Maybe that's
Yeah.
Gus being gone. We also didn't talk about Gus. Should we talk about Gus a little bit? Things we don't like about
We
Gus?
talked about. I like Gus. I like Gus.
Okay, then let me talk
He's been
about
good.
Gus since I don't like Gus. Gus is a gigantic pain in the ass. So I just got back from a trip from Los Angeles.
Yes.
And I took no days off. 0. And so how many days off
What
do
do you mean?
Gus will take? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean?
You weren't here yesterday.
I was in Los Angeles.
Oh, sorry.
I literally came back at 10 o'clock last night.
Oh,
So Gus is going to be gone to San Francisco for a couple days, right?
He gets back Thursday night. I think.
Which means, please, place odds. What do you think is the chance that Gus will be in here on Friday?
Oh man,
I will bet you right now.
it's almost even money at this point because, like, I know he has a lot of stuff he's got going on right now. So it's kind of like,
I don't think it matters.
no,
I think the day off takes priority to take care of stuff.
I'll put $20 Gus coming in.
I got to have a talk with the employees.
why?
Because I noticed everyone takes care of personal business now during office hours. Like, I couldn't find someone for an hour and a half
Well,
the other day, and I finally found them, and I said, "Where have you been? I've been trying to find you for an hour and a half." And he points his head and goes, "How do you get a haircut?" Like, what? There are literally 8 hours after you leave this office and all weekend. Get a fucking haircut on your own goddamn time.
I had to recently open a bank account, and I think I could only do that in a week. Couldn't
Some
I?
stuff is difficult because it is during work time. Like
Some stuff makes sense. I get that. Some stuff makes sense.
Like moving into my new apartment, I had to be like, I will be right back to sign this lease. I will come back. I'm sorry.
Do you,
I've got everyone on the defensive now. I love
do
it.
you ever take sick days?
Sure. Sick days.
Like
yeah.
you're ill, you don't come in.
Yeah.
I've been sick twice.
I have-
I've taken 2 sick days since I've been a Rooster Teeth.
In my whole working life, I've never had a single sick day.
Yeah,
Nice.
listen, I know I've definitely said this before. Take your fucking sick days and take your vacation days. Take them.
Why?
Because you have them. Use them. Use them.
Why use them if you're not sick?
But use them for mental health days to be a happy person. Just
Really?
Just use them. Here's why. Because you go. Here's what always ends up happening. We have discussions like this. Someone goes a year or two, and they say, I haven't taken a vacation in 2 years. You're like, so? I mean, that's the reaction everyone else has. Like, so what? Take your fucking vacation. Enjoy your life.
I take vacation, I just don't take sick days.
I get that.
I'm going to take April off. Is that cool?
Nope.
See, the thing is, there's no good time for in a company like this where everything's like creative all the time, new stuff coming up. There's no good time to take
Yeah.
a vacation.
It is kind of difficult.
You'll always miss something good.
Like, I know, like, I'm working RTX this year, and then immediately afterwards, I'm going to Comic-Con. And so I think I might take the next 2 weeks off once I get back from
What a
Comic-Con.
loser. That's what I do is when people want to take time off, I'm like, fuck you. But so, when you say that, like, you were gone for 3 years, did you feel like you missed a lot of these moments, these creative moments when you were gone?
I missed a lot of stuff.
3 years. You did.
I missed the whole of Immersion. Immersion was quality.
Just being
Well,
gone
maybe
a
the
week,
whole
I
of it.
felt like I
mean,
missed much.
We got, we could do some more of those. Why not? I mean, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's like big things go by, and you don't, work on things. But you were working on stuff in the UK.
I had stuff going on. I'm fine.
You were
I'm
working
fine
on
where I am.
projects where you would go to Lisbon and you would cook a steak on a piece of marble. I remember that was
That's
one
cool.
story you told.
Cooking steak on the rocks.
They would
Good.
give you a hot piece of marble and a
Yeah.
raw steak.
They give you a hot piece of marble and just a selection of meat that you want. I just had steak.
They do that at
And then-
Uchi
Yeah.
in Austin.
It's a common thing. But
Have you had that Uchi?
No.
The hot rock? It's
Hot
good.
rock. Oh yeah, that Kobe beef. It's delicious.
But it was interesting to like actually cook a steak in a.
It's just made up like his face.
It's so good.
It was interesting though because I usually just cook a steak and then eat it. But to have like meat and then cook it and instantly put it in your mouth, I was like working backwards of how rare I would like it. So now I realized I like really rare meat. I just went like.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's
I
nice.
totally agree with you. Yeah, just burn
It's
the outside
interesting.
of it. You know, burn
Yeah.
off the
Sear it.
bacteria.
And then I want it dripping with blood.
See, that's the kind of stuff you were doing in the interim. You were going to Lisbon, Portugal, and eating
Latvia.
things like that, and Latvia. In the interim, Jack and I were doing things like last time we went out to Los Angeles together was to present for the Machinima Awards.
Yeah, the Machinima Awards.
Did you present on that as well?
No, I drank.
Yeah, he attended. And through no fault of their own, they didn't know this. They booked us into a hotel
God.
that was undergoing massive reconstruction, not just renovation, reconstruction. And when we showed up at the hotel, we showed up at I think about 3 p.m. and the awards were at 8.
Yeah.
At 3 p.m. we showed up. The power was off in the middle of the day. We were on the 8th floor, so no power meant no lights, no AC, no elevator.
Stairs.
Nice.
So we had our luggage. We had to go up an unlit stairwell. They had employees with flashlights at each of the landings acting as the lights. The employees were.
That's horrifying.
And they're making noises like bat echolocation so you could find them. And then you would see down the hallways, like you get to level 5 and you'd look down the hallway, the entire wing of that hall, or the floor of that hotel was gutted.
Yeah.
It was bare cement and like these weird like construction things, and it was completely dark. I swear to God, that hotel, it looked like a map from Left 4 Dead.
I was about to say, did zombies start popping out of
Yeah,
nowhere and you had to
absolutely.
run for your life?
And then I'm in a hotel room in the dark, like by the window with the only light that comes in. I'm
in
just
the
like,
fetal position.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there waiting for the power to come back on so I can take a warm shower and go to get ready for the awards. And eventually, we sat there for like an hour and a half. I said, I called Jack. Fuck it, we're leaving.
So we left the hotel, and like I grabbed my stuff. I was walking out the door, and the power all came back on. I was like, oh
Wow.
Nice.
That's
fuck it.
typical.
It didn't matter.
I once
matter.
Yeah.
I once went to a hotel in Dubai where the elevators were single person elevators, and there was no like automatic door. It was like, you know how you open a fridge and it's got like that kind of suction. It's like,
Yeah.
and then you
Fuck
open it,
that.
and then when you close it, it's like, and it seals you shut, and you're just sort of in.
So you're in like a
it was
Willy Wonka
white
elevator?
padded fridge, right?
Cool.
But one person, there was loads of them. But I always have like big cases when I'm on a filming job. So there was some where like I could sort of shimmy them in by my legs. There was one case that I just had no room for, so I held it above my head, like right in this stupid one-person elevator.
Was it supposed to be a luxury thing?
I guess it was like some kooky, stupid, dumb move. But and then when the elevator stops, you just push the door. And it goes,
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they probably had a freight elevator somewhere in that building
sure.
that could take real items up.
I don't know. I don't
How did they
speak
get the-
Dubai to
how did
ask for that kind of thing.
I don't think I mean, how did they get their beds up? You know, they can bring them up one piece at a time.
Probably not keen on the customers using the freight elevator.
Well, you're different. I mean, you're a hotel. They'll accommodate you.
Yeah,
Dubai.
I don't like to ask like people to go out of their way to. I like to just sort myself out.
Gavin's dedicated.
It's
He's
a
not
service
letting go of
industry,
that
man.
case.
I don't like being served really.
Really?
No, he doesn't.
that's weird.
He talked about this before, where he doesn't like answering questions about how he wants his food.
Maybe that's like a British thing. Like, is that why? Like, that's your excuse to not tip
I
people?
think it's because I work on set where there are runners who are much older than I am,
Yes.
and they kind of, I feel really bad, like them getting me drinks and stuff while I'm filming. I hate that. It's like, yeah, I'll get my own drinks. Don't bring me anything.
I can feel that for people older than me. When people older than me do stuff for me, I feel terrible. I feel like an
I-
asshole.
I
Like
know
I
that-
should be doing this for you.
And I know that as they're handing me a drink, they're just thinking, you prick.
Who's this smarmy asshole?
Prick in the camera department who's like,
God.
Hello, Barbara.
Hey, Barbara's coming.
Barbara has
Nick?
arrived.
Barbara, jump on here and tell us what you thought of Bacon, the restaurant.
Bacon.
Tell us about bacon.
All right, hold on.
Bacon.
So you also, Gavin used to work at a grocery store. Which are you okay saying the name of the grocery store?
Waitrose.
So he worked at Waitrose, which was a high-end grocery store in the UK.
Ooh.
And he had specific training where they told you, don't speak to the customers.
No, that wasn't what it was. You're allowed to make conversation and speak to the customers. You just weren't allowed certain phrases. Like, you had to end the conversation in a certain way. You couldn't say, have a nice day.
But you couldn't initiate a conversation with a customer.
You can.
I thought you couldn't go to them and say, is everything okay? Do you need anything?
I mean, there's no...
I hate when people do that.
I really hate that.
Especially at a grocery store.
Oh,
It's like,
what?
clearly
No.
I know what I want.
But the big thing was, don't say have a nice day. Because it sounds like Walmart and people hate it.
So what'd you say?
Just say, thanks.
Peace
Well,
out, motherfucker.
That's fine.
Peace out, yeah.
What's wrong with people coming up and asking if you need help, though? They're just
hate
being
that.
nice. They're like,
I
hey,
love
man,
that.
just in case.
I love
yeah.
that because it's like if I need one thing and I'm not sure exactly where it is, I'm like, yeah, I was looking for this.
Because half the time I'm the retard in the aisle going, where's the Pop-Tarts?
Well, most of the time I've gone into a store to get... I know, I can find it. I'm not a moron.
Have you ever been to Home Depot?
Home Depot sucks.
And the worst thing about Home Depot is you find somebody in one of those orange schmucks or whatever they wear. And, like, you start walking towards them and they see you coming. Like, they're working, like, doing inventory or something. They look and they see you and you see them. You make the eye contact and they have that, oh, shit.
Yeah.
This guy's about to ask me where something
They
is.
avoid people at that place.
They do. You can see it. You can
Yeah.
see them and they clump up together.
Yeah.
And they like
They hide in the aisles.
they act like
too.
they're having conversations and they're not. Because they do not want to find what you're looking for either.
No. Anyways, bacon was okay.
It was okay.
I
It
was
was okay.
Only
I was kind of unimpressed, to
What
be
did you
honest.
have? You just had fries.
I had bacon fries. Here's the thing.
Don't just order
Bacon
fries.
fries.
If I were to open a restaurant called Bacon, I would only have bacon there.
You would only have
they
Canadian
what
bacon.
they have burgers and sandwiches and whatever with bacon on it, which is like okay, but to me, a restaurant called Bacon should only have bacon, or at least a
You think
lot
our
more
steak
bacon.
place should only serve steak and that's it?
Yeah, but,
No, but it's called bacon.
yeah, but bacon isn't a meal.
I don't care.
can't
It's
just say,
called
"I'll have
bacon.
the
No,
bacon."
that's the
When-
creativity. Make it a meal.
Well, I ordered the bacon fries in my mind, thinking that they were going to be little strips of bacon as fries.
I would like to go to Barbara's restaurant that she opens.
God.
It's just like steak place. It's like, oh, I'd like a steak and potatoes. We don't have steak.
Yeah.
Or we don't have potatoes. We just have steak and smaller steaks in the side. I have a glass of wine. We have blood.
Yeah, but it's not a restaurant called Steak. It's a difference.
But they're called steak houses where you go and it's like,
Well-
I'll just have steak. That's it.
Yeah,
We only have one kind. But they have thicker bacon there too. Don't they have like habanero bacon?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. You were just there.
I don't
How
know
do you not
habanero.
know?
I saw BLT and I thought I'm gonna have that. I don't
And
read.
he
I don't
did.
read the whole menu. There's some things that happen with menus. I never read the first item on a menu. There's no point, right?
Because no one ever orders the first item on
What
the
are
menu.
the chances? What are the chances that you would like to order
Gavin.
menu item number one? It's never going to be the first thing.
Bernie is physically face palming right now.
Nothing
Why?
sticks to Gavin. Nothing. It's like he couldn't tell us what the grades are in the UK school system.
What do you mean?
And then he forgot how old he was.
I did forget. I thought I was 24.
You're an idiot.
It's like you're a tank that's like 7/8 filled, and it's like you only have this amount of capacity left. What is all this? What are you filled with?
British.
What is you're filled with British? It's like the OS is taking up too much room or something.
I had to clear my cache, and it's all gone.
What is it? Like, what is your area of expertise that you know?
If we were going to go to a trivia contest, what would be your specialty? Like, what
Yeah,
can
like-
we look at you and be like, you've got this?
I know Halo pretty well, right?
The Halo lore?
So proud.
Things in slow mo.
I should put you up against my kid. My kid is constantly
I know
schooling
high
me.
speed photography.
You do know high speed
He
photography.
knows what a water balloon looks like when it pops
I
in
do.
slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Gavin knows quite a bit about cinematography in general. Like, you know about
Loser.
the fundamentals of photography. You know pretty well.
Yeah, like the basics.
No, but it's important stuff. I mean, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people have DSLRs. They put it on the green setting. And
Yeah, there's a lot of that on set now.
I'm a
People using
photographer.
5Ds on a movie set.
Really?
And it's like, and I'm like, can you just go down 2 stops? And they're like, what?
Really?
Yeah,
On a professional movie set, huh?
yeah. People
They're
are
probably
dumb.
like, we'll fix the f-stop in post.
Basically, my generation that's coming into the movie industry and the TV industry, ruining it. Like they're all
Yes,
like,
your generation is ruining it.
it seriously is because I've been trained by the old school, and I'm seeing all these new DSLR mofos
Who's
coming.
training the other people?
I don't know, film school and stuff.
YouTube.
I don't know.
Oh, I see. YouTube, yeah.
I've been trained by people who started on film, so I get like the good education.
Okay, well, Barbara already went to lunch.
Where'd you go?
I went to Whataburger.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
You spared no expense.
What a
know.
burger.
That's what my life goal is to go to Whataburger and eat a burger by myself and say, man, what a burger.
Wow.
And then just leave.
That's your life.
Another life goal of
Wow.
mine is to go to the Nile and stand in it and be like, I'm in denial, and then leave. That's my life goal.
And
I will be happy.
I'll be there
Wow.
with my night vision goggles, and we'll all be like happy. What's your life goal? Jack, what's your ultimate life goal?
Jeez, I have no
I
idea.
get night vision goggles. Barbara goes and makes a horrible pun in Egypt. What is your life goal?
I would like to
Your
do.
shitty life goal.
I would like to announce a major sporting event.
I can see that. I can see that.
That'd be cool.
You could probably do that. Like, you could,
I have I was thinking about that. Like if I want to do announcing for like football, like how do you get started in that? Like what process leads to?
like a
I know
university-
exactly
doing
what the process
calling
is.
of-
Your dad was the previous guy.
Yeah, honestly, I mean that's a big part of it. I mean, like you have to wait for someone to die.
You could probably do a local sporting event and probably
Yeah.
do some like win a contest or something.
Welcome to the 3rd annual Little League tournament.
No, I mean, like, honestly, like, if I was going to approach it, it'd be something like I'd go to a high school and be like, who does your PA announcements during football games? And, like, I guess just work your way up from there. But
You announced a PAX panel I watched once. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
I
PAX
mean, I've done
2010.
I've done a few intros for the
And
PAX
2000.
Yeah, but what's your shitty life goal?
I don't know.
Okay, good. His
To remember his own age.
To know something.
To be honest, my life goal was to get a visa to work here, and I did it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and kill yourself now. Like, you've reached your pinnacle.
I do want to pee from one country into the next.
That I have heard you say that before.
Yeah,
so
I
that
do
is
want to do
legitimate
that.
goal of his.
You know, there's that point in America where you can stand on like the intersections of 5 states or something.
4 states?
4 states?
Yep.
No,
I'll
it's
stand
5.
on that and just what?
No, it's 4 states.
4 states.
I want to know what this really skinny 5th state would be.
You could have. Right, anyway. I want to just stand on that point.
It's Rhode I.
I'm going to stand on that and just piss in a circle. Just on all of them at once.
The problem is that's an actual national park, like a monument where people go take a lot of photos.
That will make it so much better, though.
Yeah, there's the British guy.
That'd be the last thing you do in America.
Yeah.
So-
there was a British guy pissing, an American guy wearing night vision goggles, and a Canadian girl making weird puns. What's yours? What's your life goal?
Well, Barb actually made me think of it because I'm a fan of Dimitri Martin, and he has this thing where he talks about going to the beach really early in the morning and putting messages in bottles and then floating them out to sea. And I have wanted to do this because he puts on the message, he says, "I'm standing right behind you," and then when the people pull it open, he's like right there. So I think that'd be fantastic.
Fucking hilarious.
I want to do that tomorrow.
We'll go down to Zilker
San
Park.
Padre? Anybody?
So you're wearing a Torchy's shirt, Lindsay,
I am indeed.
and you used to work at Torchy's Tacos.
Sadly, I try to repress those memories. But
Yeah,
yes.
it's a good restaurant.
They were the
Just
same-
working food sucks.
It
Period.
does. It really, really does.
They provided the hideout, right?
I've never worked food.
You never worked food?
I worked at an HEB, but I mean, I never.
No, that's kind of the same thing.
Well, I don't know
I
if
mean,
I
I
would
never- I
count
never handled
that
food.
as food.
Yeah, I mean, I never did like quick service or anything like
That's
that.
more like actual merchandise.
Yeah, did you work in food besides Waitrose?
Yeah, I used to put out the fruit and veg.
Oh.
Fruit and veg.
Veg.
But I mean, besides Waitrose.
God, what?
Gavin looks like such a douchebag right
Yes.
now with his stupid sunglasses.
He has sunglasses on indoors. He's wearing a
Take a
pop
picture.
Pop your color up.
Yeah.
Your collar.
He asked us to call him Maverick before this started.
Maverick.
I want a
Maverick
new look
free.
for the podcast. I actually, like, last week I did my hair for the podcast. I don't know why.
Why?
Did you really?
You got a face for radio, Gavin.
Yeah.
It's after I took a photo of him or a video of him taking off his with your headphones today, and your hair was.
I
all
took off my
spiky.
hoodie and it staticized my head.
Gavin's trying to look very.
Everyone paused while
Very
I photo
sexy.
of them. Okay, well, let's go to lunch. Anything else we should talk about, Barb? Anything community related that we should talk about?
Buy your RTX tickets.
Hey, shit! You know what happens on Sunday?
What?
Church.
Come on.
Oh yeah, Sunday.
Sunday's the fucking 9th anniversary.
9th
of
anniversary of
Rooster
Oh,
Rooster
Teeth.
we'll have
Teeth.
announcements based on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sunday's our 9th anniversary as a company.
Yeah.
And then we
years.
always have some cool stuff. So starting on Monday, we'll be talking about some cool stuff coming
Okay.
up. And then also, don't forget, we're going to be at PAX East the following weekend, which is Easter weekend, the 6th through the 8th. I
Yes,
believe.
and we have a panel Friday at 1 o'clock in the main theater, and our booth is number 160.
And I wanted Monty to be in here, but we had some technical problems starting the podcast. Monty would talk about some of the stuff that we're getting ready for PAX East, which should tell you that we're going to have announcements specifically related to Red vs. Blue Season 10 and a very cool reveal related to RVB Season 10.
Very, very
Bum,
cool
bum,
Very,
bum.
very cool reveal. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully you can attend our PAX panel. We go on right after Mr. Gabe and Tycho on Friday afternoon. So if you're thinking about attending PAX East, be sure to come on Friday and see our panel. And don't forget that RT Oz is currently selling tickets.
OZ.
RTOZ, thank you. You can go to rooteeth.com to buy tickets to the Australian fan event known as RTOZ.
And Bernie's going to fly me there to go to it.
Jack is going to live stream from America to everyone who attends.
I'll be on
RTOZ.
Skype.
Did you guys already talk about SideQuest at all?
No, let's talk about SideQuest.
All right, well, SideQuest is an event that happens during RTX. It happens at the off hours of the convention, so it doesn't interfere with the actual event. There's 5 different events. I believe one is sold out, but you could go to the SideQuest group on our website to find out more.
And we will be sure to provide a link to the SideQuest group in the link dump as
In
well.
the link dump.
Hell yay.
I'm hungry.
Guys, I think we did okay without Gus. I think that if something horrible happened in
Gus
the world...
sucks,
I
by
was
the way.
scared.
Gus does suck.
I just thought I would mention that.
Do you have any... Gus, do you want to talk behind his back?
I love you, Gus.
No, he just sucks.
We didn't... I'm
He has
kinda
a big
proud.
head.
Your beard entrances me.
I have a
guys.
bigger head.
No, he has a pretty big head.
We should measure because I actually have a bigger head.
What's with all the giant heads?
I don't know.
Very
I don't know.
smart people,
We must
a lot
have
of
pumped
brain.
human growth hormone into the.
Do you do you fit a hat like a standard
No,
hat?
I don't.
I don't either.
Actually, the reason I went out to LA is I can't really talk too much about it, but I was cast in something.
Yeah.
And I had to go to wardrobe, and they had to put a hat on me, and they were like, "Jesus Christ, your fucking head is huge." Like, to warn them ahead of time, I said I have a big head, and they go, "Okay, whatever."
I thought you were going to say that you went to LA just to pick out a hat.
Yeah.
Because they have a great hat
I'm
selection.
embarrassed to admit. I have to. If I order a baseball cap, I have to order it from a place online. It's like big heads.
That's
like
awesome.
you know, when I was a kid,
Bigheads.com.
Is it like
Yeah,
HEDZ
something like
or something?
it's like just like I have to buy the Oscar the Grouch size hat or something like that, the elephant size. But you know the plastic tabs that used to be on the back of baseball caps where you'd have the holes and the pegs.
Yeah.
The only way I could ever put a hat on my head is if I went to the very last peg. Like I didn't even get two of the pegs, so it was like holding like this and it would tilt like that because it was only one peg in there, and it was just like.
Why didn't you just cut them off?
What?
Then your hat wouldn't
strap.
stay. Wouldn't be tight.
Yeah, then I'd have to have a flat piece of cloth on my head. I just wear a napkin on the top of my
What kind
head.
of question is that?
I don't know. I just was trying to solve a problem.
Yeah, I've always had a very big head.
In England, you could buy power hats to increase the pressure around your head.
Shrink it.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Next week, unfortunately, we will have Gus back, and he will keep us online and I guess more on top.
Thank you for
Bye,
listening.
internet.
The internet.
Bye.
People.
I'll see you.
Love and juice.